assume that I've moved
Yeah,
it.
once you get in.
Wah, wah, wah.
Ugh, my head is killing me. I hit launch game, but it's
Taking a while.
yeah. There we go. Okay, whatever. All right, Falk.
Oh no. She's even longer.
Why do you still fire?
There.
Let me fix it. How do I fix this?
You
Oh,
can't.
no.
You messed it up. Oh my god.
There you go. Okay.
Unbelievable. Well, she's in the box.
All right. Everyone's in the box. I'm gonna start. If I take a big swig of water.
Nice.
Okay. I'm starting now.
I have water.
You actually got water instead of ice
Shut up.
cream?
I'm so glad, Mel.
We're
so
allowed to
proud of
dunk
you.
on you for this.
You are. Can't wait for that to happen at SableCon, and you can watch it happen in real
I'm just gonna
time.
hold on to a bottle
Here's
of
a
water and
crazy
hand it
thought.
to you.
Here's a crazy thought, Mel. That won't happen because you'll be in an environment that's positive and not stressful.
Also, there's gonna be ice cream. Who am I kidding?
Oh, thank
Chris
God, I
is
found
gonna
my...
be there.
Good news, everyone, I found my vaccination card.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think mine's in my
Well, the
wallet.
good news is if you don't
Yeah, there
have
it is.
it, you're probably on the record anyways.
You can,
I
you
just
go to the
wanted
website.
I'm certain there were ways to get it back if I lost it, but after the move I was concerned, but I found it, so it's all good.
Mine's in my purse somewhere.
Mine's right here. Okay, I'm starting.
Okay.
Okay. When last we left you, Blue Hearts, you rivaled with the might of an Elder God at the peak of the throne of the world. After unleashing the full might of your Avatar Stones, you were able to drive Ganadar and its minions back into the Far Realms, close the rift, and seal them away forever. As far as you knew, the war against Ganadar was over. Yet even with this triumph, your work is not yet over. With the magical storm cleared, you received a message from Anna Stonebrook. Ordinol had fallen under attack by an invading force of monsters. You realized that this force belonged to none other than the Lady of Change herself, and you rushed to the Dragonborn city to intervene. You parleyed with the Baroness, and she explained her actions. Medici had survived. He sought to create his new reality and become the sole god of it in the process, and finally, that the architect of this plan and Medici's co-conspirator was Dr. Calanthus. She wished to bring Calanthus to justice for his betrayals and to find where Medici had hidden himself in order to eliminate that threat. So that is where we pick up. You're returning from the camps on the outskirts of Ordanul into the city proper, preparing for your confrontation with the Doctor. Blue Hearts, how do you wish to approach this? What do you wish to do?
I mean, we have to confront Calanthus, huh?
I think my aunt
Splendid.
is already in the process of confronting him, so maybe having her there will help.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the chances of him just lying to our faces are extremely high, but
Well, nothing he hasn't done before.
nope. We can just climb their in.
So, I guess we go back. I haven't cooked dinner yet today, so I might be RPing from the kitchen. So if
That's
anybody
fair.
says anything in
her wraith's
Yeah,
just gonna
that's
fall down a
that's
hole.
true. Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, heading back to Ordanuel, making your way back to that draconian spacecraft, which that is at the center of the city, their seat of government. You know the way to Calenthis's laboratory. Are you just going to head straight there? Are you going to
Do we
touch
want to
base with
talk
anybody
to?
else?
Do we want to talk to Anna?
We should
Jack?
probably at least let Anna know that things aren't going to off immediately.
Yeah.
Was Anna in charge of?
What was your
Not
question?
much. Isn't she like?
What does like Anna do here?
Isn't she
She
like barely above a prisoner?
not any longer. She has been helping, working with the Dragonborns themselves, as well as kind of parlaying with the precursors to kind of prepare everything for the day of the moon falling.
Okay.
So like preparing their defenses, making sure that like their mechs and their automated drones and all that other high tech precursor stuff is ready to assist the worldwide effort to stop the moon.
Cool. And we should probably talk to her.
Also, Patty Zalenthis is currently talking to her brother.
Zelenthis is already there. But the other precursors, the three Whitmore sisters, as well as Anna, Jack, they're also in the city, and they're still kind of in a war room, essentially trying to figure out what their options are for dealing with this potential threat that's outside their borders.
Well, I guess the first thing would be to visit the war room, right?
Wherever. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that's not too far from where everybody else is. So like you know that Calenthis's laboratory and the seat of their government, which is that large kind of room where you first met all the precursors, is more or less on the very upper levels of this kind of vertical spacecraft. You are escorted up to those chambers where you step out into this room where at the far end you have that kind of like circular elevated seating where all of the precursors first sat when you met them. At the center of the room, there's now been pulled in a number of like a large table where they've been laying out various schematics and maps of the city, like digital maps, and like there's little devices that are projecting like various like holographic feeds of the legions of monsters that are right outside their borders, and like various angles that are being captured by the drones that are flying around. You see the three Whitmore sisters um, um, at one end of this table, as well as Anna and Jack kind of flanking them, and Rian, who is Anna's sister, the head of the security for the city, essentially, all kind of poring over these documents and these reports and trying to figure out what to do. How do you wish to proceed with this? As you like enter, it looks like they're kind of preparing military options.
Mm-hmm.
Cecil's just gonna wave over to the person she knows best in this room, which is Anna, and just be like, "Hey, we're back."
Oh, you're still in one piece.
Really?
Yeah.
I
You
cough.
take it things went well. And she kind of like takes you to the side and speaks to you quietly.
Yeah. Okay, so it's complicated. So, So she's not really here to like take over Lord the Newell, and she doesn't really want to attack the place. And I just kind of give a rundown of what is going on with the Lady of Change.
You
And
you explain specifically about Calenthus?
yeah, and I'm going to and so it turns out that my father might be involved in this, and we need to go talk to him. But we figured we should probably keep you abreast of the situation first.
This is
What does Anna's reaction look like when Cecil mentions Medici?
give me an insight check.
Gladly.
Natural 20.
So nat 20 plus
I love when you get a nat 20, you just fucking have a holler.
It's
So
like a
funny.
Jack in the Box. It rolls a nat 20 and just explodes out of the box, makes a bunch of noise.
I could have Oh nope, that's
Woody
Roscoe's sheet.
Woodpecker here.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
37.
37. And what are you specifically trying to kind of ascertain here? Is it just about Medici?
Yes.
Okay. When you mention that Medici is still alive, first of all, I don't think you ever told her the first time around that he was still alive.
Uh-oh.
Did you?
I thought we did.
I don't know.
I don't
she was-
remember.
She
I
was
really
already
don't
down.
remember.
She was already down in Ordanul when he attacked you, your compound, and then
Because Roscoe Goff, sorry.
Goff, I think, might have told her.
Goff definitely told her because I remember she
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Goff
you
had
had,
that
like-
moment where you
she had,
talked to
like-
everybody.
Yeah, she also had that like reaction where she's like, I'm coming over.
I'm coming over.
Let
Yeah, I
me
remember
at
this
him.
now. It's been like
Yeah,
a
there
few
was
years.
a
So-
moment where Anna was basically like rolling up her sleeves, like she was like, "Why, Anna?" She was gonna
Yeah,
she
you're
was-
right. You're right.
She was
That's
about to
usually
go.
how she gets. That's usually
She
how
was
she
about to
gets.
go like New York Mafia.
But I don't think you let her know that he had died or allegedly had sacrificed himself for
allegedly is.
allegedly.
I
And
don't
but you know
think so
now
because we
possibly.
didn't believe he was dead at
Right.
the first place.
And you never
Yeah.
told her. So
We
so
didn't.
you never told her that. So I think, as far as she knows, he's always been out there. So I think the most you get from her is that she doesn't look at all surprised. Like she's probably
Mhm.
she's known this man for like going on 30 years and probably figures he is
His
he's a cockroach that is
tendencies.
he's just going to keep showing up. So yeah, you get that. After you finish, Cecil, as you finish explaining this whole scenario to her, she has this kind of profound look of confusion, and she says, "This doesn't make any sense. Why would Calenthus do this?"
I don't know, but he's been withholding something from us for a good while, and I figured, he's always been kind of enigmatic, but I didn't
It's
think
just the
that he would
precursors. They're
actively.
5,000 years old. They've seen a lot. They don't talk a lot about what they've seen, but I mean, you really trust this Lady of Change? She's from the Far Realms. We've been fighting the Far Realms for millennia.
That's true, but I mean,
Dealt with her quite a bit as well, and we just got the feeling she was telling us the truth.
Verna's
Well,
right. She hasn't lied to us yet, and she has helped us out in the past.
Well, I don't trust anything from the Far Realms, but I do trust you all. So if you believe her, then we need to have word with Calenthus.
We might as well, at the very least, check it out, see what he has to say for himself.
You're right.
As far as I'm concerned, I distrust both her and him equally.
That's a healthy attitude to take in this situation, I think. I mean, but still, Dr. Calenthus has been doing nothing but preparing for for Moonfall for
And
longer than I've been alive.
perhaps
And
this is part of it.
she kind of is
It-
quiet there for a
Did
moment.
Did Colinthus lose anything of significance? Brothers, sisters, anything that may have made
They all,
him?
it's way before my time, the Draconian Wars, but my understanding is that yes, they all lost people they cared about. They fought each other.
I mean, Medici
They,
got spaced with his brother.
they,
Did that still happen in this timeline?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes, it
what?
did.
yes,
Sorry,
yes, it did.
I
The only
keep
timeline you rewrote
forgetting.
was Mitos, not,
Right. Yeah.
not, yeah, not Vernus. Um, she says, the Draconians, you know, I mean, you already know they came from another planet. They lost so many over there when the Pale Moon came, and then when they came here, there were a lot more than 4 or 5 of them. There were, a few thousand, maybe no, maybe like a few 100,000. I'm not sure how many there were, but now you see how many there are now. And most of this they did to themselves, but some of them they lost to fighting Onadar, fighting the Gray Man.
Well, guilt and regret are heavy burdens and can twist the mind. It's very possible that Colinthus has decided that there's nothing left worth saving. So he's going to that he wishes to recreate the reality that whatever.
We don't know. We don't know. And that's why we're going to go ask him after this. And
All right. You need any backup? Should I let anybody else know? If you want to just keep this quiet.
I think
If we go in with an army, he is less likely to communicate with us.
the
Be
chances of that are
prepared.
low to begin with.
All right. So, do you want me to come? Do you want me to stay out of it?
Is he likely to listen to you?
No, the precursors don't listen to us.
Then you should do what you can for the Dragonborn, and keep your place here. Keep Jack from getting himself into situations he can't get out of.
Regardless
my
of what he
best.
thinks he can get
I
out
already
of.
confiscated his ring. He's not going to be playing role.
Jackson gay baby jail.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I will keep watch here. You do what you need to do. If anything happens, you know to contact me. We'll rush up as soon as we can.
All
You'll
right.
be the first
Thank
to
you,
know.
Anna.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sissel gives a thumbs up.
Right.
Time to have uncomfortable conversation.
So,
Well,
okay. So you head. It's on the same kind of region of the spaceship. You head in the direction of Calanthis's laboratory, making way through the kind of the crystalline spires of this draconian spacecraft. As you're approaching his laboratory, I would say, I'm trying to think. Those of you with like really good perception, so Hiraeth.
Me,
I always know Hiraeth. I always forget who else has really high perception. I think Ellen and Goff.
Goff, Ellen.
I don't know how you forget that. Goff is the wisdom
been-
guy.
I know we've been doing this for a very long time, and I still
The
forget.
wise guy.
It's numbers.
It's
That's
numbers.
hard.
So the three of you, I
I
think,
don't
will
have
be the.
16 passive, so
I'm
I
like
don't
over
know.
20. It's like 23
Okay,
or
well, it's
26
not that
or
high.
Yeah, I
but-
think Ellen, Hiraeth, and Goff are the only ones who have passives over 20. I might be wrong about that, but the three of you, I think, are the first ones to notice this, and maybe the only ones to notice this. As you're approaching, as you're coming to range of his laboratory, the large kind of circular doorway that leads into this very high ceilings room with a whole glassed wall on the side that's overlooking the jungle cliffs of around Ordinal,
Which are currently populated.
which is currently populated by legions of flesh monsters.
Love her.
The three of you kind of start overhearing these snippets of what sounds like a heated argument going on.
Uh-huh.
And you hear Zelanthus talking, and she says, Cal, just tell her, just be open with her. And then you hear Calanthus respond and say, there are bigger concerns at the moment, sister. While I'm grateful for your return, now is not the time. And so as you're kind of like approaching, I think they hear your footsteps, the argument, the tense discussion sort of kind of goes off to a murmur.
Uh-huh.
And as you approach the laboratory, you come toward this room. You see Calanthus himself is at some sort of terminal, tapping away at some sort of arcane precursor language. It seems to be, you're not really sure what he's doing, but as he's working at this terminal, there are various kind of like soldering sparks going off from this machine that's nearby. It looks like he's constructing some sort of weapon. Off to the side, you see Zelanthus as well in her human form, kind of leaning against a table of laboratory equipment. She's got her arms folded. She doesn't look happy. What do you do?
Sol just goes, "Ugh," and walks into the lab. I realize I'm
Okay.
interrupting an important family conversation, probably, but it's time for another important family conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As you say this, I don't think Calanthus looks up from his work. He just
Oh,
kind of
fuck him.
continues looking down at the terminal, typing away. But he does talk, and he says, "As you are no doubt aware, there is an invading force at our front door. So I trust you have good cause to interrupt my work."
Oh yeah, we know the invading force. We're on pretty good terms with the invading force. Do you know why they're invading?
They are abominations from the far realms. They have little reason to exterminate life other than that it exists.
Not really. Actually, they're pretty chill as long as you're not, threatening the livelihood of, everyone around them.
Or the existence of this reality.
So, how do you know Medici? How'd you meet?
I know of the warlock, if that's what you're asking.
Shut up!
I know it's probably pointless with him, but I'm gonna have insight going this
Go
whole
for it.
time.
Yeah.
You know what?
30.
Okay.
Mel,
No,
you have like
sorry,
an
32.
infinite insight. You should definitely roll.
34. Or no,
34?
36, sorry.
32.
1 second. I gotta do a roll here.
1.
34, 36.
Mm,
Okay, 1 second. I'm doing math in my head real quick. Or maybe I should just use a calculator because that would be easier.
Hey, if you guys hear like loud cooking sounds, let me know and I'll mute.
Okay.
Okay, who got the 34? Who got the 36?
Ellen 36.
Okay, and Goff has a 34?
I had a 32.
You have a 32. Okay.
I rolled
thought-
an 18 plus 14.
I thought somebody said 32, 34.
I
No,
think Mel
I-
said 34 first, and then he.
Gotcha.
34,
Okay, so
but
Ellen, you got
19
a
plus
36.
17 is 36.
You got a 36. Okay. All right. So what did Sissel say? I forget.
Cecil just said, "Shut up."
When he's like, I know of the warlock, if that's what you're asking.
So
Then
he's
Sizzle
just
said,
saying that he's never met him.
Listen, we just had the whole conversation without there with the Lady of Change, who you probably also know of and are totally lying to our faces about it. And we're on a lot better terms with her than we are on you, because she's at least been upfront with us. So maybe you could, level with us, because we're not playing this game anymore.
Interesting. What did this Lady of Change say? You see at this point he's kind of like stopped typing and he's taking his hands off the terminal. He's just sort of poised at the end of this desk.
I'm trying to remember what exactly she said.
But he's working with Medici to create this new universe.
They're basically in cahoots with Medici to rewrite the world. And that's going to screw over all of us, because it kind of is.
You just see him raise his eyebrows at that and he says, and you believe this creature?
I mean, knowing what I know about Medici and being... She, the Lady of Change is a little bit weird looking, but she's never lied to us.
Yet she is an abomination from the far realms.
I
And
mean,
yet
so
you
is-
have withheld information from us
you're
non-stop
not
since
so
we met
handsome.
you.
What
Wait,
information have I withheld?
I'd be willing to hear it if you're willing to tell it.
Have I not been your ally? And at this point you see that he has actually like turned to look at you. Have I not given you the knowledge you needed to fulfill what you needed to fulfill?
You
Have
told
I
me...
not been the creator of the very stones that give you the power that you have?
Yeah,
You
thank you
told
for
me
that.
I was born in a lab. I point at Zelenthus. She says I have a mom.
He gets very quiet.
Hee hee hee.
Now
Why
is
are
not
you
the
so
time-
weird?
Now is not the time for this discussion.
I think it is.
Either
If you had had it your way, you'd never have the discussion.
I would prefer to deal with the moon that is approaching in 10 days before dealing with my own personal family matters.
these two
So-
things are related.
Is this what you came here for?
We came here because... apparently... you're a danger to us.
Am I?
Yes.
In what way?
The only thing that the Lady of Change wants is you.
And what do you intend to do?
Well, that depends on what you do. What you decide to tell us, and whether or not you actually talk to us like a literal person, or if instead if you're just going to hide behind your incredible poker face. Which, trust me, it's very impressive, but it's also very annoying.
I will say this. Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ellen is the only one who had a high enough insight to get this. When Sissel mentions her mother, there is this like very imperceptible twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see his eyes soften for a brief moment, and he just like kind of tries to
Classic
push
wife
a
guy behavior.
very painful memory aside.
I love when
Wife
there's
guy.
I love when there's drama happening with a character that's not a race-related character, because I always imagine Alice with like a big bucket of popcorn just having
Yeah.
the most hilarious drag.
Mm.
Just eating it up.
I
Anyway,
am.
please continue with the.
You're right. Yes, please.
Typical wife guy. I know what that's
Typical
like.
wife guy.
Mido's
That's
a
true.
wife
Mido
guy.
is also a wife guy.
Oh, what? Are you gonna kick Calenthus?
Verna is?
Oh, that's from earlier? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I get you.
Got it. Where were we? I am so lost right
So
now.
you told Ellen perceived an incredibly hard to notice change in his face when Sissel's mom was brought up.
Yes. But where were we in the
Oh.
conversation? Because I forgot that. Sissel.
Sissel
I
had
think
just said
we were-
that that you're a threat to us because she only wants you, and then
and he asked what you intend to do.
and then that's when Sissel said it depends on what you do now.
What you tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks at all of you,
I
and he
remembered.
says, "Very disappointing. I trust if you're done wasting my time, you'll allow
Oh
me to get back to my work."
God, you are annoying. Mito does say that.
When do you even see us as individual people, or do you just see us as pieces on a board?
I think that's the correct assessment, Goff.
You are the Avatar Stone Bearers of legend. You
I
are
don't
the
care
ones
about
fated.
being a legend. I want to be spoken to like a human being, like a humanoid, like a mortal that has a functioning brain, a unique individual with thoughts and opinions of his own, not just some part of a legend or some story, not some part of a plan.
And if I address you by your name, will you do your job?
I'm not
Oh,
talking about my
God.
name. I'm talking about. Are you really like this, or are you just doing this on purpose?
Zelanthus just says, "Oh, he's really like this."
You're a smart man. You know I mean more than just calling me by name.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't just drag you out there kicking and screaming.
Go do it. By all means. If you think that the one of the individuals who can ensure the avoidance of this planet's destruction is worth so little, then go for it.
Can you?
I have spent the last 5,000 years making sure that what happened to my world does not happen to this one.
And your
I
solution to that is
created-
to just...
I created those avatar stones. I created all of the technology we need to combat the moon when it arrives. This has been my design. And you're questioning me now, on the eve of the most important battle we will ever face.
Is the battle tomorrow?
In a few days, I think.
And days.
It's just an expression.
It's an expression. It's not literal.
I thought. Well, usually when I think Eve, I think
It's
literally the
Moon
day
Eve.
before.
It's Moon Eve.
I do like the idea of you saying that in character and then Clint is just saying it's an expression.
Real caustic-like attitude. Sorry.
From my perspective, we could be gaining a very valuable ally if we end up not alienating the creatures at your doorstep. If they tell the truth and if there is a misunderstanding here, I feel like you should be very keen to perhaps clear that up.
What do you think that this Lady of Change would do if she got her hands on me? You're willing to trade my life for what? A
It's
promise?
Not what we were saying.
It is not exactly that she wants to kill you. She wants to make sure that you are not going to completely rewrite this reality that we know. If that is something that we can ensure you won't do by your word, we would trust your word just as much as hers. But you have making it harder and harder to believe you because all you do is talk to us like children.
You let me make one thing clear.
I don't care how long you've been around, Big Black Dragon. I am tired of being disrespected by you. You call us
Stop.
legends, you give us the stones, you call it you lay all of this information upon us, and you entrust great duties to us, which we are fulfilling, by the way. The Scion is locked. It's gone, sealed away. We did it. We did that much. In case you weren't aware. And we immediately came rushing here.
Because there is information that is still locked behind your mind, or that is hidden.
I have
Eh,
told
eh,
you everything that you need to know.
That we
Clearly
need to
not
know.
enough.
That is not everything.
Here's the thing. If this is all just one big misunderstanding, then you can probably come out with us, and you can let her know, and I will defend you if that's the case.
I will not parley with an abomination
No.
from the far realms. We have fought them for 5,000 years.
How is this not the best opportunity to stop that? If you don't try to do something
If-
about it now, you only continue to fight.
I don't have the time for this. The
She
threat on my
says-
Neither
doorstep
do
needs to be
we.
eradicated.
She looks differently than she used to. She says that because of her time and
I
because of
really have little interest in this conversation. If you are intending to bring me out there by force, then I urge you to try it.
We are not.
Otherwise, I will return to my work and keep
We
preparing
inte-
for the moonfall.
What-
I'm just curious, what is his sister looking like?
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, Bren. I will +1 to you then.
the.
She's been staying out of it.
Okay.
what is her expression like though? Is it like indifference or?
Give me an insight check. I mean, draconians are extremely hard to read. They are. Wow, good.
Wow!
What was it?
Natural
20.
20.
Natural 20.
Wow,
Which
nice
equals
job,
20 for Mido, because she has no wisdom on it.
Zelenthis is a very hard read. She's been gone for so long, and she's now seeing her brother, and for who knows how long. And she doesn't want to fight with him.
Yeah.
Look. We don't want to fight with the people out there. And no matter what you say, like, they're.
Let
I
me
just.
ask you something.
Hmm?
If what this creature says is true, if you believe them, that I that I know the Warlock Medici, I have some plan. If it's true, even if I were to admit it to you, what would that change? What would you do?
Have to stop you. So let's call this a hypothetical. Let's pretend that for whatever reason this is a thing that you're doing. What would just rewriting everything do? Like, and assuming that Medici is even telling the truth, assuming that what he's trying to do will bring about the desired result, it's going to completely wipe the slate clean of years and years of progress and relationships and people existing.
Who's to say it would? Let me ask you a question. If you lost something you loved, someone you loved, would you not do anything to see them again? If you lost any one of your friends over there, would you not unweave the very strands of fate that bind us to bring them back to you?
That depends.
That depends.
Am I merely saving their life? Maybe causing a little bit of damage around the area as a result? Or am I completely throwing off the lives of millions, thousands of people? Removing them from existence so that they never know what it feels to feel or to think, to be born, to feel joy, to suffer, to
Where
love,
would you
to
get
die.
such an outrageous idea?
Because if you rewrite this world, it won't. So many will be lost.
Who says they would?
Who says
Their
they wouldn't?
experience will be lost.
What
Our
experiences?
experiences will be lost.
Your pain, your suffering.
Yes.
Our joy as well.
We've suffered a lot since we've started out on this journey that you put us
If
on, but I would not go back willingly to the person that I was originally. We've all grown too much since then,
Hmm.
through joy and suffering.
What do you know of joy and suffering?
Oh, you're
Of
going to
sacrifice
say
and
that
loss?
because I live shorter life than you, I haven't felt the same sorts of things you have? If that's where this conversation is going, it's not going anywhere at all.
Then you are welcome to walk right out that door.
you cannot have these conversations with us, constantly lording over the fact that you've been around for thousands of years. That is not how this works. When we discuss with each other, with those in charge of the cities and the lands and the nations around here, we discuss on even terms, not with keeping in mind their royalty or regalia or their accomplishments. I don't care how long you've been around. As far as I'm concerned, you or I are on the same ground. You might be able to turn into a large, great dragon. You might have the knowledge of aeons behind you and the work of hundreds of geniuses. That makes you no more different than I. You can still die, bleed. You can still feel and think the same as I. It does not matter how long it has been around and how much you've done. You may not want to admit it, and you may think that I am speaking foolish, childish words, but it is the truth. What is it, let's hypothetically, if you wanted to have a new, fresh slate? Why? What is it? Is it because you've lost siblings, family?
Make a persuasion check.
I wasn't done, but okay.
No, I mean, I think this is I mean, certainly if you want to continue, finish your what you were going to say, but then
I
also
mean,
make
you
a
know I
persuasion
can't
check.
roll super high with persuasion, even with my bonus. It can only go so high
Yeah, I know.
against this guy. I mean, um, 25.
25. Okay. So what were you going to say other than that? What have you lost, and so on and so forth?
Um,
Sorry to take you out of it. I didn't know you weren't done.
I guess I mean, I was kind of like in the moment. He was basically just was trying to ask what is it that he would want to bring back.
I think he looks away toward his terminal again, and he just starts typing again. And he says, "You speak to me of loss, of understanding, of equal footing. I still remember watching tens of thousands of my brothers and sisters fall from the sky, clouds blackened by artillery smoke. Their bones form your farmland. I watched friend and family turn on one another, tooth and claw like wild animals. Scales rent asunder. Thousands of years of civilization and history reduced to grasping madness as we took each other apart. When you see those things, then maybe I will consider us on equal footing."
Maybe not in this reality, but in others we have.
We've seen the aftermath of our potential fuck ups more times than you can count. They haunt us every day.
We've seen what happens to us if it does not go right.
And you do not think you are owed better.
Oh, that's life.
It does not
Even
have to be.
even as we saw ourselves fall one by one in the most gruesome ways possible, they did not beg and plead to have the world rewritten. They knew
They
that it would that healing would come, something would come, that time would move on. They had hope for the future, which does not sound like you do.
Do you really
Look,
think the way things are going now is hopeless for you?
your sister is right here. A moment ago she wasn't. You thought her gone or dead, I'm sure. Does that mean nothing to you?
I'd say make an insight check right now. Anybody who wants to. I'm gonna let you to reroll.
Yeah, I'll try again. I
I'll
won't get a
29.
20 again though.
I'll do it just because I
20.
don't
Oh,
expect to.
Ooh, very nice.
Nope.
I
That's
wasn't
another
wrong. I wasn't wrong, but
36.
Let me like refresh because my character sheet is not popping out.
36, 29.
I'm pretty sure I still have foresight.
Um,
Hold on.
sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, I was just getting back with my food,
you
so
do
I'm
have foresight still.
and my character sheet is not loading. So it would be a like a 19. I didn't roll very well.
A 19. Okay. I'd say Goff and Ellen and Mito. And what did Hiraeth get?
19.
19. So Hiraeth as well.
Okay.
Um, you notice that there is some subtle shifts in Calenthis's demeanor. He's tensing up a lot more. I'd say, Ellen, you are the one to notice this. You look at Calenthis's face. Some of his humanoid guise appears to be dropping. His eyes have turned into this kind of reptilian coloration that he has when he's in his dragon form. You're kind of treading a line here where you're getting the sense that you're like treading a line, a very thin line here, and he is getting increasingly agitated.
he's gonna turn into a dragon and eat us.
Good.
What, do you not like my little jester hat? Do you not do you
Does
not
it
like my
not
gay little
please you?
dance?
Does it
Does
piss
it
you
not-
off?
What was the last thing that was said?
I was asking him if the fact that his sister has returned to him meant nothing to him.
My sister knows how I feel.
Just because she knows, there's no need to express it ever again.
No, I mean she knows how I feel.
I look at Zelanthus. Do you?
She doesn't respond to you. She looks. I think that Zelanthus, maybe more than any of you, overhearing this, understands probably the subtext a lot more. She, being draconian, has lived through this experience as well. So, I think. So, as you're noticing this, Galanthus says again, there is not a single one of us still living who would not do anything to rewind that clock.
Well, then we are diametrically opposed in what our goals are.
And you never asked any of them to help. You say you're of one mind when it comes to this, that everyone else would do anything. And here you are alone.
I think Zelenthus speaks at that point. And she says, it's because he knows we wouldn't help him. But we wouldn't stand in his way either.
Then you help him.
He kind of like looks away and seems very cagey about the whole thing. If you are, and this is Calanthus again, he says, if you are satisfied now, if you are done bringing
No.
up painful memories, I'd ask that you leave my laboratory.
Are you serious? We are on the brink of destruction, the brink of apocalypse.
I want to be clear. I'm running my face, and so is Goff.
Yeah.
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 We put ourselves in lines of fire, dying dozens of times over if we must. Breaking fate left and right, going against all predictions of our reality. We do this all for you, for our friends, for everyone we love in this world, in this reality. And we are on the cusp of it, and yet you still talk to us like this. Do you really, after all these years, do you really not understand how important it is for us to feel like we matter to you? To feel like like really real thinking beings to you, not just an army you can send to do your bidding. Do you truly not understand what we are asking for here? We want to trust you, but you are making it very difficult. Hiding all of this information, acting cagey, acting superior, it's only making this gap between us wider. We would be happy to continue following along the path that we have been. Fairly well, I might add. But it's always us that have to bend to you and never the other way around. We are simply the ones who carry your little rocks and put our lives on the line while you sit here and...
By all means, relinquish them.
Really?
You do not wish to carry them?
I do, because it will save my reality that I love so much, and that is why I cannot have it rewritten.
Then go do something about it. And you see at this point, he just turns to you, totally mask off. He is like, his face is just twisted, and you see like the scales are starting to come around the side of his face. There is a threat outside this city.
It is no threat. Not to
And
anyone
you and
else
I
but
have
you.
a very different conception of a threat.
I know that you're not much of a people person, or
A person.
who knows, but you seem like a numbers guy, right? Or the Null versus, and she just jerks her thumb at the legions and legions of creatures. Or the Null versus that. That's a pretty easy equation to make. I think we can make this a lot easier.
He's not hesitant to speak. This is me, your DM, trying to figure out what he would say.
Mhm.
He says, I will not abandon my work. I will not relinquish myself to some creature from the far realms. If you want to save this planet, then you will go out there and deal with her. I have nothing more to say to you.
didn't want to do this. I cast Dominate Monster.
Counterspelled. Mana magic. Subtle spell.
I forgot that he had that! Ha! Or rather, I didn't know that he had that. But I forgot that I had that, and therefore...
Tragic that I couldn't counterspell his counterspell.
Yeah. That's how Subtle Spell works, baby!
You tread on dangerous ground, hatchling.
Blow it out your ass.
Hell yeah.
Sissel walks out of the room.
He's a teenage dragon.
I follow after. Sissel.
Calanthus walks away and just stares out the window at the legions of monsters gathering on the hillsides.
This is just kind of like, just gonna be kind of like stomping forward and just silently fuming.
I was just considering if I wanted to open the ever smoking bottle just to fuck up his office before I left. I decided not to, but I thought about it.
Okay.
The little devil on your shoulder.
Alright, so Sissel and Mito have left the room.
I'm debating saying something before leaving. No. No, he's mad enough. I was gonna say any draconian lives lost today is on your hands, but he's already mad enough.
Doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? For your health.
Thank you for your help.
Mito is just like quiet because
Oh.
she technically did rewrite something, so
Yeah,
She
but that
doesn't
wasn't
really-
the whole universe. It was like one event.
yeah.
I mean, it did change multiple lives, but
It
it was
changed
still.
This
multiple
is
lives.
like
It's still-
removing all of the gods.
Oh yeah, I know that, but
Just to be clear, what was it? What was the exact goal of Medici and supposedly Calenthus's plan?
They're gonna remake all of reality to create a new world without gods, without suffering or pain, where everybody's life has taken an ideal trajectory where nothing has ever gone wrong and everybody is like as optimal happiness, basically.
Sounds like he's going to turn us all into Tang.
Like the drink?
Or just make a very boring reality.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
boring too. And yes, Patty, I'm making a reference to End of Evangelion.
Haven't seen
I,
it.
I know.
Delicious tang.
Sub.
Sub. Slurb.
Slurp.
As long as I got my sub.
He's a soup guy.
Goff just doesn't. He's still standing in the same place. He says, "You can try to scare us all you want. We don't want to hurt you or anyone that might be on our side. You don't have to believe us, but we believe that the Lady of Change could help us."
He doesn't look at you, but he does hold a hand out toward you. I need you to make a strength check.
Is this just a straight strength?
Is
Yes.
this a spell?
He's
Yeah.
probably
Do I
trying
see
to
him
push
casting
you.
a
You said you
spell?
already left.
Did I?
No, it was just Mito and Sissel that left.
I thought you said you were considering.
I was
using the
considering
spell bottle
opening the
before you leave.
bottle. Yeah, but I haven't
Yeah,
left
it is a
yet.
spell. Do you want to try to counterspell it?
Yeah, he's casting a spell on my friend. Fuck that.
All right. Give me a roll.
Okay. I get advantage on this, right?
Yes.
And Jack of
Is it
all
an ability
trades.
check?
Yes. It's
Okay.
it's a counterspell roll. You gotta do.
Yeah, it's really high. It's like a natural 16 plus 8 plus 3
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
plus.
So the spell fizzles.
I just hold up, you know, the
So
angry woman drinking
he
water
sees that
meme.
He sees that his spell has fizzled.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
And
Yes,
instead
that's me.
he just says, and then he moves his other hand over to a countertop. He presses a button there,
Oh my god.
and
Oh
you
my
hear
God.
some whirring as a couple of precursor turrets descend from the ceiling and point at you. Leave.
Such a jerk.
What a caustic. Right, guys?
You really are going to forsake this opportunity to discuss
One of the turrets fires at your feet.
Goff doesn't move.
I'm going to grab Goff's arm and pull him along. Come on, I don't have enough juice to heal you.
Oh my god, my head is killing me.
Goff reluctantly, I guess, goes into the hallway.
Okay. So as I think Zelanthus also leaves, and as soon as like everybody else is out of the laboratory, the blast door just seals shut.
How thick are the blast doors?
Oh
They're
god.
typical precursor obsidian.
Are they like? Is it like sound
Super-
wouldn't go? Is it like sound wouldn't go through them?
Sound would not go through these now.
Oh, okay.
You
I had
can't
one.
yell
I
fuck
really.
you.
There was one more thing I wanted to say. I thought it was going to be really choice, but our DM decided I didn't have any more time to say fun things to the damn NPCs.
Well, the very angry dragon.
Well,
didn't
maybe
wanna
the
listen
angry
to you
dragon
anymore.
shouldn't be such a piece of shit, Foul.
He was going to telekinesis throw you out of the room, but that got counterspelled.
He was gonna what?
He was going to telekinesis throw you
Telekinesis.
out of the room.
Damn.
Got one of his spell
Force
slots.
throw.
Eh.
What are the spell slots for the fight that you're about to start with him?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make it a fight.
No.
You know,
God.
maybe I still am an idiot, but I really
God,
didn't
I
think it was
wanted-
going to be that hard.
I know he could just counterspell it.
Did you
Part of
say
me
that?
was like, cast gate, cast gate.
Oh my god, just cause problems.
He would just counterspell anything I did.
I know, but I'm just like, it would be so great if you just forced him there. Like, fucker, you don't have a choice, cast gate.
No, we're not allowed to do anything fun to Calanthus.
So what did Goff say just now as you're like gathering out
He
in the
just
hall?
said that maybe I'm an idiot, but I really did not expect this to be this difficult.
He's always been impossible.
Zelanthus is there, and she says, he's always been like this.
Or what about you?
What about me?
Are you not
I know
concerned?
that you were probably still recovering from coming back to the land of the waking, but did you really have nothing to say?
If this is what he's trying to do, you weren't there. You didn't see what we saw.
I understand.
Maybe not.
1,000 years of fighting, our great civilization reduced to what you see here.
And do you know what it's like being us?
Say
What
that
we
again.
see
Sorry,
and feel?
I missed what you said.
And do you dragons know what it's like to be us? So small and insignificant down here on the ground, crawling around. Do you know what our lives are like? Do these even
No.
matter to you?
To him, it did once.
Likely story.
And then she died.
I'm assuming that was. And I look at Sissel.
It was.
Sissel is still silently fuming.
I can't say I know what it's like to lose your whole civilization, but I know what that is like.
He's always taken everything real hard. When you live for thousands of years, grief can do terrible things to you.
Maybe if I had lived that long, I would have ended up just like that, had I not met you guys.
But even
Sounds
so,
like-
sorry, go on.
Sounds like such a lifespan is more a burden than a gift.
It
How long
might
do
be.
elves live again? I forgot.
About 800 years.
Damn.
Might have just like.
You're gonna well outlive like all of your
All your friends.
loved ones, all of your
And
friends,
Emmeline.
and Emily.
Yeah.
You'll
Whoops.
have
Oh,
Elise for company.
At least he's half. Half
No,
elf
he's
elves are
Medici's clone.
You're right.
Uh,
I
Oh.
forgot about
Hmm.
that.
oh no.
Your big plot point.
No, I forgot that he was a full elf.
Oh yeah.
I think Solanthus says, we all responded to it in different ways. He's just always been very single-minded about these things, and I think as much as seeing our friends and our family fall, I don't think any of that compared to losing the one person that was most important to him.
You don't have to explain survivor's guilt to any of us. A handful of soldiers, you think we don't experience that? It doesn't take thousands of years for that to develop and to really understand. But if he thinks he is alone in this, if he thinks he is the only person who's ever lived, he can do that. We have more important things to deal with.
We still have
This, however, does not help us with.
Situation. So what? We supposed to just fight and innocent people die?
If we don't find a solution to this,
Innocent people will die.
aberrations are going to swarm this city. People who have nothing to do with his machinations are going to get hurt.
Want to break in there? Take him out?
What if
Well, he can
we
only do
can't
so much against spells, but what if we just pick him
is
up and move him?
Goff looks very intensely at Zelenthus. Is there truly nothing we can do for him? Is he truly so lost in his grief that he cannot change his mind about anything?
Is it true that the core of your living civilization would back him up in what he's doing?
we
Would
wouldn't
you?
back him up. We're not going to help him do this.
You would turn a blind eye.
But if you don't go against him, you may as well be helping him. As said before,
Like I said, there were so many bodies.
I've seen bodies. I don't know what that's supposed to tell me.
Well,
You think just because it was...
just be fortunate in your short lives, because then you won't have to endure a 1,000-year war.
Well, I'm sorry that we saved you from an eternity of servitude to having your
Goff.
mind controlled.
Goff.
What?
I try to calm him down. Just
What do you want from me?
calm down. Figure this out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're yelling. You can't change the fact that she's upset about this.
I'm not trying to change the fact that she's upset. I'm trying to get these dragons to stop looking at us like we're little ants crawling around who do not matter at all.
It's gonna take a lot more than a few minutes with Calenthus to accomplish that. For right now, we have more pressing matters, more achievable goals.
Yes, unfortunately, there is still an army of aberrations, so I really don't want to fight.
Me
Despite what
neither.
Calenthus says, I don't know what issue
We
he
just
has with
keep-
aberrations, but they
Didn't they
within
have like an
something of their
entire
strength.
section of docile aberrations in that lab on the throne of the world?
What were you saying? Fred?
They just had aberrations in there, but they were only docile to us because of how we have parlayed with the Lady of Change. I don't think they were like docile to.
Well, we never went in there. We don't actually know how they would have treated us.
Yeah, you
That's
don't.
just what we were told.
Fred, what was the last thing you said? I didn't hear you.
I'm trying to remember.
Said, screw you, Dad.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it was just that, despite what, I don't know what issue he has with aberrations, but we were able to parlay with them, and, they also would like to avoid conflict, so I don't really understand why he wants to force it so bad.
Well, if he is unwilling to agree to anything alone, do we approach the leadership of the Draconians and say to them that we can avoid bloodshed here if we can manage to at least arrange talks between themselves, the Lady of Change, and Calenthus?
He won't talk to them.
He will if he's forced to.
Well, who's
Just
going to
might not
force him?
Another dragon.
The
the other
Unlikely.
sisters.
dragons. She just said that they're not going to back him up.
But are they going to actively go against him?
Only one way to
If
find out.
it's either that, forcing him to speak to someone, versus fighting thousands upon thousands of monstrosities and seeing exactly the sorts of scene they are wishing
Driving.
to avoid.
Like, it doesn't take hundreds of thousands of year old scientists to realize that out there is a losing battle.
Blue Hearts.
The only reason she's waited this long is probably out of respect for us.
I don't want to be the one to say this.
Mhm.
I don't think any precursor Draconian is going to work against each other. I think we may as well be in a completely different faction.
So we
Well,
don't even try?
I'm going to
They
try.
need us.
You can certainly try, but I have no faith that any of these precursors are going to care about anything we think or say. We may as well be children to them.
I don't think all of them are as bad as he is.
Well, I've yet to be proven wrong.
Well, you have yet to be proven right either. Let's go.
Stop talking circles around it and do it.
Just out of curiosity, does Alenthus react to any of that in any particular way, or does he just kind of stand there?
I mean, to what particular part?
I don't know. Goff just blatantly just saying what he did. Like
The
he doesn't
accusation.
believe in the precursor.
Your DM, did not want to interrupt your flow, your funky
No,
flow.
I was asking what her reaction was after we said all that.
Yeah.
Or during it. I'm just curious. That was all.
I think she would say,
It's just if she didn't want to say anything, that's fine. I was just curious if she had any sort of facial, or if she does have something to say, it's fine.
Face journey.
I think she would say, if you can prove that my brother is a threat to this city, then they'll step in.
I think.
But he has built up a lot of goodwill over the last millennia.
Sissel,
Hmm.
I think we speak to the Lady of Change and see what evidence she has that we can show.
That seems like our best bet.
Mm.
I'm not excited about this. Back out there we go, I guess.
You heading back to the Lady of Change?
No, I mean we can talk to her with
We
the
can talk to
lump.
her with
Yeah,
the
we
yeah,
lump.
you
can.
can. You can.
I forgot
You can
that
do
we
that.
had that.
When Sissel pulls
horrible.
when Sissel pulls that thing out, Milo just goes, ugh.
You get
It's great.
Sissel just kind of hefts it and goes, "You get used to it after a while."
That looks, I don't like it. Use a stone instead. I don't know.
Kinda cool.
It's gross.
It's
Mm.
it's Far Realms flavored.
Anyway,
I don't like it.
That's Alenthus.
What
Oh,
did you say,
I-
sorry?
Because you said it's Far Realms flavored.
As Alenthus
And
said.
Alenthus, you've tasted it?
Oh.
I almost spit my water out
No.
of that fountain. I really almost did.
Verna only practiced kissing on it once.
Why does Verna have to practice?
She's never kissed anyone before.
Oh
Verna's
no!
never kissed anyone.
Never been
before.
kissed.
She's never been kissed. She's Drew Barrymore.
Oh my god!
Okay, we have to have a whole arc
does
at
she
the end
wanna
of this
kiss?
series where
Well, Verna dating
we
sim.
have to hook Verna up with someone.
This is such a bomb that you've dropped on us, Patty.
I can't believe I'm
This is on the level of Ellen has a wife.
yeah, I'm just like I'm just kind of blown away. Like this new Vernalore I wasn't prepared for.
Well, number one, I always assumed this was the case. Number two, Mido has 2 hands.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh
my
my God.
goodness.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Anyway,
gotta ring out the Lady of Change on the weird pair of lips.
Yeah,
all right.
Lady.
You pull out the lump.
That's what I'm saying.
Shh.
What?
That's
No,
what
you
I'm
can keep
saying.
going. I'm shushing my mom.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Good.
The Lady of Change says, "You, Cecil, have you made any progress?"
Well, things did not go as well as I'd hoped. Or rather, about what we expected, but worse. Do you have any solid evidence for, that he's working with, that Dr. Calentus is working with Medici?
There
Something
are,
we might be able to present.
there are murals and documents in Medici's lair. I did not take them with me. I did not want to risk, if Medici returned to that place, him discovering it had been touched.
Does Medici's lair still exist?
It's
think-
she had mentioned there was another layer in the
I think she's
Highlands.
talking about a different one we haven't been to
Oh.
before.
Yeah.
Where did you say this lair was again?
Oh, it is in the Sapphire Highlands, up north, in the wastes.
I'm doing some brain math in my head real quick. Think we could reach that?
Would be our
So
way
out of the
back.
way.
Have we used the Entangler? We use the Entangler.
You have
We
used the
used it.
Entangler. There's also no direct.
No direct.
You don't know
teleport.
exactly where it is. I mean,
Mhm.
Lady of Change could probably describe it to you, but without having seen it, you're basically like guessing. It's somewhere in the mountains.
Well, not having evidence that we can present is kind of a
It's-
problem.
It's
What-
going to make this into a confrontation that might be just as messy as what we're wishing to avoid.
What is Calenthus doing for Medici? If you can remember if there's any documentation of what Calenthus is working on, maybe we can find what he's working on
It is
and
nothing.
establish the link.
Oh, are you
there.
asking this of Lady in Change?
Yeah, and she's kind of talking out loud too.
Yeah. I think Lady of Change says, my understanding is that what he is doing for Medici, he is the architect of this plan. It was his plan to begin with, before it became Medici's. He tasked Medici and made contact with him when he thought he had found a kindred spirit, so to speak. And since then he has been providing Medici with knowledge, locations, places where he could find what he needed without exposing his involvement.
Could be physical
He
documents.
sucks so bad.
There could be physical documents. There could be an attuned sending stone. That doesn't seem likely. Ellen, any ideas?
There was the location raided by his 3 generals in the Ebony Thicket. Do you think it's possible
it even still there? I know there was some weird space-time things going on with that particular.
That
Only one of the generals.
No, I meant the location itself.
Are you thinking about Medici's tower, which was like through another plane?
No,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the
You were thinking about
the
where you
precursor
encountered,
ruins.
yeah, the precursor room where you encountered the three of them. It was on one of your bounty hunts.
Yes.
Memory's so bad.
We encountered the three of them. They were after something very specific. Do you think it's possible that they left some sort of trace?
Is it some
Anything that might trace them back to Calenthis? Oh. Oh!
What?
How likely is it that that Medici's former, I suppose, generals, ones who haven't been space-time warped,
Mm.
would remember, would know about Calenthis's involvement?
I doubt they would know anything.
A testimony would have been nice.
Even if we were to bring someone in,
Oh, right.
who's to say that we didn't just make it up?
It's
You
true.
have Zelanthus says, as far as I see, you have three options. If you want to try to get the Whitmore sisters on your side, you can try that. But they're just three people. We have an arrangement with the Dragonborn. They defer to us for our knowledge and our longevity, but they outnumber us. You don't necessarily have to talk to the Draconians.
And it would be their lives on the line that Calenthis is putting. And it is their lives that Calenthis is putting on the line with his act.
That's option 2. Option 3 is not getting anyone's approval. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And she kind of like looks in the direction of the blast door. You
So
didn't hear it from me.
You're suggesting either we talk to the Whitmore sisters, threaten them, or just go right in and just start swinging at Calenthis.
The only other alternative is that you side with Ordan Newell and fight that legion out there. Or you just walk away from it all and let them kill each other.
Oh, that's a shitty option. Let's not do that.
I'm a fan of that one.
Both of those are far more loss of far more. Sorry, brain. Both of those will result in the loss of far more life than we can afford with a moon on the way.
I'd honestly rather avoid the loss of any life if. Honestly, we. As far as I know, Anna already believes us, and could at least try and talk to the rest of the Dragonborn.
Hmm.
Alright.
I think the Lady of Change, who has still been in this conversation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she says, I will, out of deference to you, hold back my children, but I cannot guarantee that I will wait much longer. If Calenthis slips through our fingers, then I am afraid that there are not any number of Dragonborn who I will allow to stand in the way of that. It is regrettable, but Calenthis must be brought to justice. And I must prioritize the safety of this world and my children over the best possible solution.
Lazy thoughts. If we could somehow communicate with all of the Dragonborn to ask them to stand aside for your children, could they be told to ignore them?
Of course.
Just asking to have that as an option.
I
But
think
I'm not
that
sure we could convince all of them. No, we would have to speak with Anna.
we need to speak to Anna. She
I need to
is
speak
the
with Anna
one.
regardless, just to keep her abreast of the situation.
Also, she is the one we know the most that has knowledge of. I guess she's the fairly well connected here, right?
Yeah. Also, she's not a complete asshole.
She's she has that
Really,
very far in her favor.
really goes a long way in this
It
situation.
goes such a long way. All right, to Anna.
All right.
Thank you, Lady of Change.
Of course. And the mouth kind of slurps back into the lump. Um, you head back to the war room. I think Anna kind of sees you enter and pulls you aside and says, "What happened? What's happening?
Good.
This people are getting anxious. They're they're getting ready to deploy."
She only wants, the Lady of Change only wants Calenthus.
Oh, you told me.
Calenthus, fairly predictably, in hindsight, refuses to be pulled from his work, and
Well, I don't know what you expected.
I don't know what we expected either.
I mean, I think anyone who is going to, guilty or not, is not going to want to just put their life on the line.
We asked him to at least come and talk in case it was a quote-unquote misunderstanding, and given his
Never a
abject
misunderstanding
refusal.
with the Draconians, Sissel. You know
Yes,
this.
he... Any evidence we could find to present to the Whitmore sisters is too far away and would probably take too long to get to. But
So what's the play then?
On how good terms are you with the rest of the Dragonborn?
I mean, not super great. They all considered me a traitor when I left and shared the knowledge of the Avatar Stones and magic with humanity, or with mortal kind.
Yeah,
But my sister is in charge of the security here of the standing forces. She trusts me.
so
I'm Peter. Sorry.
Did I accidentally close Roll20? I did.
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Oops,
I
a
was
daisy.
wondering where you went.
No,
Yeah.
our DM's gone for 15 minutes. We can go home.
Okay.
Is someone blending some?
Will it blend?
Well, that's Mido.
Yeah.
Where were we? I'm sorry.
She was saying that she's not really
What's
trusted.
the play?
Yeah, what's the play?
Right.
So really, even honestly, we're all pretty tired from. Even if we did decide to side with you, fight against the Lady of Change, it would result in a significant loss of life. And this refusing to cooperate is also going to potentially result in a head loss. I've mostly Dragon Ball. I think that probably counts for something.
I think, but
You have to understand that the Dragonborn have never raised arms against the Draconians. But if Calanthus is a threat, well, times change.
There's
How
more
do
of
we
you.
how do we prove that he is a threat?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
All of these
It sounds like your word against
the word of an ancient 5,000-year-old being. However, the Lady of Change did say that anyone who stands down would be spared.
If you could manage to tell all of your people that they would not, if they did not attack any of the creatures, that they would not be attacked in return, we might be able to guarantee that.
that's all well and good, and that'll account for our organic forces. But our mechanical forces that we still need when Moonfall comes, those are operated remotely. And
I
guess who has the button?
assume...
Of course.
Of course he
course.
does.
Right.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this sucks. I'm tired.
I
the
agree.
people in charge of this city, and probably a good deal of the people in servitude to them, are so concerned with what happened thousands of years ago they can't see what's happening right in front of them.
I wish I had an
So
answer for you.
hard
but-
even just to have a fucking conversation with most of these people. I am
It's like nothing we do matters.
2 steps from just going in there and dropping a meat. I can't do that right now.
You need to sleep.
Ugh.
We don't have time for sleeping.
I know.
I don't think there's going to be a diplomatic solution to this. I don't.
No.
I don't think there's enough time. So if you want to do something drastic, well, and she kind of looks over at Jack, and Jack sort of gives you a grin. And I think Anna also grins.
Mm.
Oh my god, Peter's hiding in my laundry basket.
If we're going to do something drastic, then how do we get through the doors?
You leave that to me, darling.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is such a bad idea.
Everything's a bad idea right now.
If you're not sure about it, then let's keep talking. But just be aware that talking.
The
is a
only other
commodity we don't
option
have
we
right now.
have, the only other option we have is to get the Whitmore sisters on our side, and I don't think they're going to side with us over him.
I mean,
That is, I mean,
Not without more proof.
oh,
mhm.
and we don't have time to
We
go
don't
get
have
more.
time to gather it.
This isn't usually how we do things. At least I don't want to. I try to believe it's not.
Ugh.
I mean, do we have a plan if we get in there for how we're going to extract him?
Nope.
Not really.
Nope.
From what I'm hearing, it sounds like we're going to bust in there and just start fighting.
Just start
So anyway, I
have
started
lasers.
blasting.
What do we do about the lasers?
Get shot, I guess.
I know we don't have many options and they're all bad, but I just don't
Yeah,
feel
I'm not
good
really
about it.
keen on
We don't really have Walden with us this time to disarm things. He's gotten
You
very
still
good.
have a little celestial buddy. I don't think you dismissed him.
Oh, we haven't dismissed him. Hey, little buddy.
I
Has
thought
he
he was
just been
big.
following
Is he
us?
little?
He's humanoid size. He just
Yeah.
sort of like goes invisible when you don't need him.
Oh, speaking of the lasers, we do have a friend with us.
It's a friend. Find the fucking proof we need on Calinthus's computer.
I
Can he?
The little celestial manifests and says, "Please deposit cryptocurrency."
We have to pay him.
didn't
How
I
many
pay
hours
up-
did we? I think we
didn't I
already paid
already-
a certain amount of hours.
Yeah,
we have
You
didn't
to
I already
pay.
paid,
pay
but I
up
forget how
front?
many days it was. How many hours it was.
It was
and
like
you-
5 or 6, right? Something like that.
it was like somewhere between 3 or
yeah.
4, 3 or 5 hours.
I think it was like 3 to 5 hours. I don't remember. I think 5 sounds about right.
I think
And
5 is right.
it certainly hasn't been that much time. So disregard what it said. Also, because I can't do the voice right now.
Trying to rip off your money, rip you off.
Pay for WinRAR.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Oh,
No.
God.
Pay for WinRAR. Register your copy.
Sigil coin.
A neutral celestial would never suggest Bitcoin, and you know this, Val.
You're right. Only chaotic evil.
God. So what, do you think that he can potentially find? I mean, how are we going to have a Celestial hack into
Is he
Galantis'
kind of a techno celestial?
It is. So it's capable of doing it. Like its skills aren't super high on its own. The reason it was giving advantage to Walden, but by itself, it's gonna take a bit.
Can he do that without Galantis noticing?
Probably always at his computer, isn't he?
Cowboy
What a
being up at his
nerd.
computer.
Is it possible to find the documents from a different terminal?
Nope. Please.
Alan doesn't know what networking is.
If I know my brother, he's probably not going to keep anything incriminating in Ordinal.
Probably not.
Fair enough.
And here I was hoping I had a good idea.
It was a good idea. Just
Here's the thing, Heraith. Most of our ideas are good.
But unrealistic.
great.
Hold on.
Our ideas are all great.
Most of we have good ideas. We have reasonable, safe, loving ideas. But
All of them are good.
Mido,
Every one of
May I-
them.
can I finish?
Yeah.
I'm being interrupted literally every word. Dr.
Sorry.
Calenthus. He does not think the way that we do. It doesn't matter how good our ideas are. It will not work when he's involved. So unless someone comes up with some incredible idea, we may just have to go in and beat him to near death.
Just unconscious. Just a little nap.
That's what I said.
I'm not really feeling good. What's she going to do to him? Just kill him?
I don't know.
No, she wants the information that he has on
You-
Medici.
I think she also wants to kill him.
I feel like she hasn't quite made up her mind on that, but given his entire thing, she will want to kill him by the end.
Yeah, he does kind of have that effect on.
What I don't understand is why go through all the trouble of equipping us with these stones and this prophecy and setting us up on our path that we have taken and challenging us and testing our metal, and all this time spent. Why go through all of that when his plan in the end was just to rewrite everything anyway?
Fail
What is
safe.
he waiting for?
Who knows?
Contingency, maybe?
It sounds like any backup plans don't matter to him. We could succeed in every challenge put before us. We could prevent the moon falling and save this world with a minimized amount of casualties. And it sounds like it is not going to matter. It's still going to be the rewrite of everything we know and love, and we're going to be put into some gray slime of an existence.
What if it's the stones themselves?
Might
What do you
be
mean?
he's
What
trying
do
to
you
use the
mean?
song.
Exactly
You
what I mean.
Is the song that powerful?
I don't
It's
know.
very powerful.
I was under the impression that you could only rewrite so much.
Well, then maybe we should give the stones back.
I don't think so.
There's still the moon.
Well, like you said, why bother with us if he's just gonna go through with his own plan with Medici? He doesn't need us.
Is there something
Or
I'm
if he does,
forgetting? Is there something that I'm missing? What is it? What is he waiting for? Am I forgetting something we've learned? What do him and Medici need? What did Medici say something?
Medici
This is more
wants
me
to
than Goff,
rewrite
I'm
it.
realizing now.
Medici wants to rewrite the world because he lost his son and wants him back. Also because his son got schlorped. No,
What
his son got scattered into 50 billion
right.
soul
But
pieces.
what did Medici just say, like we're supposed to like do all this stuff that we're doing, and then somehow after all that his plan will come together? Was there like a reason that he has to wait for all of us to do all this stuff?
He did say we have a place to play in his plan, and it did involve sealing the moon and Gondor and all that stuff. I think, right?
It's not like we can just refuse to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we need to
But
save
why
the world.
But what is us doing? Why not just rewrite what?
Maybe he didn't have enough time. I don't know.
How are they even going to do it?
I mean, the stones do become more powerful with every um, wielder that they get, right? Maybe it has something to do with every single song that's played, every time that they're used to seal a god or rewrite reality. They grow more powerful. Maybe they just need one more big use.
and let's call his bluff. Let's walk away. Or tell him we are.
Hmm.
As intriguing as that sounds, I don't really have much confidence in Verna. I I think that Calenthus will play this game far more than we will. I think that he has enough in his hand that we don't know about, that it won't matter how much we try to call his bluff.
I think he just expects us to soon. And I mean,
I would be
it's not
willing
like
to
we can
leave
just refuse.
I would be willing to leave him abandoned if it wasn't for all the other people here. If it was just him, we could play that game, but we can't forsake the people of Ordanul just because we're trying to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he knows that.
We could at least get the blast doors open. But I'm open to any other ideas.
Well, let's relook at our options. We can get the blast doors open. I guess. Start a miniature revolt between the Dragonborn and Precursors. Really, as far as options that we
Those
have, that's about it.
are sort of our only options if we want to avoid as much bloodshed as possible.
Why does he care about saving this world?
That is what trips me up.
If the one he cared so much about is lost, and we mean nothing to him, why bother? Is it all just for show?
I don't think it's completely for show. He's too calculating for this not to be some move in an elaborate fifth dimensional chessboard with time travel.
Thinking about that makes my brain hurt if I'm going to be.
Mm.
Well, I thought the same way about my mother, but it turns out that everyone has a little heart.
Needle hearts.
Little needle hearts.
So what, are we gonna start the revolt, or are we gonna go in there and fight my dad and drag him to his death? Cecil does not
Say
look
it like
excited about
that.
any of this.
I just. I know it might be showing our hand or just wasting more time, but I am not sure how I feel about committing an act of war slash not really treason, I guess just an act of war, while not first consulting the other Draconians.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
just
with you.
kind of a bad.
That's true. And
I don't think it's going to go well, but I think it's going to go worse if we are suddenly
if we
painted
suddenly
as
attack,
turncoats.
that is true.
There's also
Also,
something the
I'm
lady
still
said.
here, Solenthus says.
I mean,
Yep.
I feel like.
If you want to be part of this conversation,
No, I'm
please.
saying that I can smooth things over.
Oh, that could help. If you, yeah.
What?
It's also, I feel like Calenthis's treason isn't the only thing we can present. We can mention that if he's the only thing they want, that will be one. Oh,
Let me tell you something about the Whitmore sisters.
mm-hmm.
There are so few Draconians left. And Dr. Calenthis has seen to the city and our civilization's security for the last several thousand years. He's been the architect behind every major defense that has been happening here on Othara, from the precursor canon to the Avatar Stones to the projects in the Throne of the World to the Siphon, everything. They're not going to believe you without really hard proof. All that being
And
said,
if
I can still talk to them to make sure that they don't see you as traitors.
yes, but if worse comes to worse, we forcibly extradite him and he ends up dead. We're not going to ever be on off of their shit list. I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to find that proof. Certainly not before the time period they would probably
I
wait.
mean, it's probably better than nothing if you go and smooth things over and explain the situation.
I can talk to them. I can go and talk to them right now. Well, if you want someone to buy you time.
I mean, might as well.
I think it would be appreciated at the very least.
I'm sorry this has to happen so close on the heels of you arriving back home.
I've been picking up after my brother's messes for a lot longer than you've been alive. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm sorry for your
I'm
brother.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, Anna and Jack are still here,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I'll face them and I'll say, well, what's the plan? This is what we're doing.
I
Well,
think
I have taken the liberty of procuring some ordnance. I've been poking about, and Anna says, "Yeah, that's why I took your ring away from you. I got what I wanted." And he kind of opens the trench coat a little, and you just see there's
Oh my
this
god.
just like
it's like the watch guy, but
yeah, but there's just like
but
tons
it's
of precursor grenades and
grenades.
pistols inside of his like jacket
God
Hey, we weren't
damn
allowed to
it.
keep
in
ours.
in his trench coat of holding.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
Incredible.
how have you not blown up?
Just
They're in an extra dimensional pocket dimension.
Fair.
Love this man.
Sorry, that's just a really funny visual. Just like
Yeah.
wait, no, that's like the Earthbound when you go buy weapons for Jeff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you have 4 massive bottle rockets in your bag.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah. Okay. Anna, do you want to warn your sister?
Yeah, let me pull her aside and maybe I can get you at least a token backup.
Alright.
forgive me. I'm still confused. What exactly what are we doing?
We're going to go extradite Calentes.
We're
So we're
going to
not
at least.
talking. We're not talking with the other precursors.
I mean,
We're not.
Valentis made it pretty clear that without solid evidence, the other precursors wouldn't listen to us. And I don't
We
know.
don't have time to get evidence. We can get it after.
What are we going to do with Calensis? Should we succeed in pacifying it? Tie
Cecil
him
just
up
kind
and
of
throw him at the
drags
feet of the.
her hands over her face and just goes, "Yes, we're going to go and bring him to the Lady of Change and maybe."
How do we bring? Do we have a concrete spell we can use that he can't just counter?
Maybe a big net.
And if he is in his true form, how
Hedaith,
are
can
we
you
going to move that?
if he is in his true form, Hedaith, would you be able to Ellen makes like a shrinking motion with her hands.
What, you mean polymorph him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Make him into a sheep.
I don't
Something
know. I mean, what
if he's
state
out.
is that? I mean, it's a 4th level spell. I don't think it'll work on a dragon.
I mean, if he's already out and if we
He's out. Good for him.
congratulations, Colent. Diversity win. This war
You're
criminal
shitty.
is
You're shitty dragon dad.
Says that the creature must have at least 1 hit point. If he goes to 0 hit points, he turns back into a dragon.
right.
At
Don't
least in
kill
hit
him.
points and character.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has to be conscious for it.
Yes.
That does make it a little more difficult. Uh, oh,
Hmm?
doesn't one of you have that spell that makes things weightless?
And
Um,
reverse
Levitate?
gravity?
I have reverse
No,
gravity. I have levitate.
that one.
It's not going to work on an unwilling dragon.
Even if he's knocked out?
It also says it can weigh up to 500 pounds.
Jack,
I don't think
Yes.
this is going to work.
you said you've been poking around.
Of
Do you know of
course.
any back doors, hidden passages? ways that we could maybe get an army of operations into the city without killing everyone.
Hmm.
A,
Let me
If
do a
we
little roll
if we
for
can't
Jack.
if
a
we
little
can't
secret way up to Calentus's lab.
if we can't get him out, maybe we can bring the danger in. But we can't kill the people.
Do you think we could only bring the Lady of Change in? Maybe
No,
we
not the Lady of Change
No.
herself. That would be bad.
If we bring only her, she will be in danger of Calentus's retaliation, as well as the Widmore sisters, as well as any other gods that they might summon. She may be strong, but I don't think she's that strong.
I do know of some ways. There are some weaknesses in the city's defenses that I've noticed. I'm sure anybody with an eye has noticed them as well.
All right.
How
That being
big
said, I'm
are
not sure
these?
how. That being said, while you might be able to get into the city proper, I'm not sure you're going to be able to get a small force of creatures through this building without being noticed by automated security or dragonborn or both.
lasers.
Lasers. Ugh,
Dude,
God.
this
Fuck.
isn't gonna work, you guys.
I'm assuming we don't have gate. That's the only thing that we can just
No.
like.
Oh
Well,
no.
well.
God doesn't have a 9th level. He literally used it
Yeah.
already, so we
Yeah,
can't
none of you have
possibly.
9th levels.
If Ellen lost her 9th level in the war,
You guys are getting 9th level spells? Which 9th level did God
Lauren,
use?
I have bad
Mass
news.
heal.
You picked the wrong class, Lauren.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
know, that was a joke. It was cute.
No, I used mass heal when I was in
Okay. Right after
song
you
mode.
went. Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it healed
That's
everyone.
why everyone's at
Yeah,
full health right
You're
now. Except
right.
Yeah,
You're right.
it also
I
it also
forgot.
it
I
did
didn't
like
know
a.
if it was a. I didn't know if
No,
that was a feature of your song.
no. Well, the feature was that it double healed and that it did half the healing as damage back to the enemy.
Nice.
So that was my play there. And honestly, I think it worked out because if we're gonna have to get into a scrap here, if we were as we were beforehand, I don't think we would have been
Yeah,
able
and
to
now
fight
mean,
you're
it.
not. Now
honestly,
you're not complaining about me giving you all your spell points back.
I mean, you're all down like once a days in some higher level slots, but you're all
Yeah.
pretty in good shape if you have to have a scrap right now.
The thing is that there's a scrap and then there's a fight with a very large
The-
dragon.
Very
who...
ancient.
we have a lot of
dragon.
logistical problems with this. Even if we do succeed in knocking him unconscious, the fuck do we get him out of there? That is the huge problem, literally, because he's
We
gigantic.
We're going to have lasers shooting at us too.
we
Well, we can
could,
probably break the turrets.
we could have our friend.
I think Anna says, don't any of you have any sort of like teleportation magic, anything that can move you from one place to another?
Still has plane shift.
Oh,
Could-
sure, but
We could do the we can do the slingshot with plane shift in my mansion. I still can cast mansion.
Such a funny play.
It's really funny, is the thing.
Oh, I keep forgetting
you'd
we can
have-
do that.
you'd have to go all the way back to the Lady of Change's camp and cast that, and then we'd have to go all the way back.
I summon the door here, and then we go inside, and then we plane shift from inside
Right.
back to the
Yeah.
Lady of Change.
It's so funny.
Haraith, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
How are we going to get a large black dragon through the front door of the mansion?
I can make the door as big as I want it to be,
Can
Goth.
you?
Yes.
Yes, you
I
can.
actually, yeah,
Oh.
I
I
think
guess
so. Hold
Yeah.
on.
I think
can
so.
check.
I don't see why not.
Oh,
Are
let's
you,
find
s-
out.
are you just gonna make a garage door for your mansion?
Oh god, this sucks, you guys.
Magnificent Mansion. No, the entrance is 5 feet wide and 10 feet tall.
God
Okay,
damn it.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if a dragon casts that?
I mean, we can shrink him.
Well, the dragon maybe should have picked up a
Maybe
different
dragons
spell.
have no bones like cats, and they just sort of squeeze through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This place
Anything
is
they
like
can
it's a
get their
lot more
head
This is-
through.
technical.
I don't know if this was your intention, Valk. You created genuinely one of the most logistically frustrating situations
Yeah,
in
I
this game
did
so far.
intentionally do this. Yes.
There's no way.
I don't like it.
Can we force Calendus to be in humanoid form?
Yeah.
No, right? Because it's something that they willingly do,
Isn't
right?
that like a polymorph?
It's. I mean, he doesn't lose his humanoid form if he's in it when he goes unconscious. It's like shapeshifting, basically.
Well,
It's not like.
but right. But
It's
if
not
we
like
get
polymorph or disguise self or any of those. It's
so what that
yeah.
means is if we want him to be humanoid, we have to knock him unconscious while he's humanoid. And if we attack him, he's probably just gonna go full dragon mode. Why wouldn't he?
I don't think if we're going to be fighting him, it's going to be a dragon. Sissel, can you still shrink people? Were you able to ever shrink people?
Yeah, kind of, but not by that much.
What
Only
if
one size smaller.
you know what? I've had enough
Also-
of Dr. Calenthus. Falk, I'm gonna get rid of your character. Let's put his soul in the doll and get Samuel out of there. Let's just put him in there and let's get Samuel out here and he can be the dragon. I'm sick
That
of
is
this.
that is an option. I'm not going to say no to that.
That's so
No.
fucked up.
That was a joke. I was
All of
making a
Sissel's
fucked up joke.
plot lines come full circle. They just
That
like
would be really funny.
You know what,
actually.
Dad? You know what, Dad? You're uncool. Fuck you.
You're going in the doll now.
Dad in the-
The
my
thing
new
is,
dad.
the thing is that
Dead in the
like,
doll Gendo.
the thing is that like as pissed off as Sissel is.
No, I know.
With this right now, she's actually super uncomfortable with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be clear, that was a joke suggestion. I didn't make that in character.
Oh, it would be, but that's why I responded out of character.
it'd be pretty amazing actually. I did not think of that, and it's certainly something you can do.
I didn't think it was. I thought that there was like rules to the person who gets swapped into the doll.
It's the person who makes the wish. Yes. But,
Yeah, but Calenthus
but
is
you
smart.
can wish for you can wish for Calenthus to go into the doll. That might
Yeah, but if
short-circuit it.
but if Sissel makes the wish, I think that would fuck her over too.
You don't know.
I-
You don't know.
I think that we would create an even worse
The whole
situation.
doll
if we
thing is still very much a Chekhov's gun.
I
Right now.
yeah, I know.
I know. It has literally not left my mind.
It's gonna fire and we are all going to scream.
I
The only
don't
thing
think
in
the
the
doll
group
is
that can do a wish now.
I don't think the doll is the play here. I was just making a goof. We should probably
Like,
not consider
even
following this path.
even if the doll was an option, I don't think Sissel would take it.
No, we should no. Calenthus does not, as shitty as he is, he does not deserve to be locked for eternity in a doll. That's not. That is not okay.
Imagine him walking up to the Whitmore sisters like, "Hello."
Hello.
And
He's
just-
like
and
a
he's just
little,
all-
he's like a little Lolita doll.
little
He's a little
gremlin. No, he's a
Victorian
little
doll.
gremlin now. It's canon now that.
No,
that
I
Tom's
refuse.
No,
interpretation-
I thought you said that wasn't true. You
No,
fought me
I've
on
changed
that.
my mind. Canon now that he's
What?
a little
No,
gnome.
I've literally
No.
drawn art. No, fuck off.
I
Okay,
think
fine, he's a
I think the
little-
doll should look however Red wants it to
Okay,
look. I just
yeah,
like
you're
drawing.
right. It's a little haunted doll watch.
I just like drawing the keyboard elf doing dabs because it's funny. That doesn't. It doesn't mean. I got it. Let's say in the Black Hearts universe, that's what he looked like.
Yes.
Oh my god.
God, oh shit! What if both of the Smails meet each other?
And then they do like a
Little dance.
handshake. They do like a little handshake that's like goes on for like 5 minutes. Or they're like bumping fists and doing little wiggles and stuff. I'm sorry. This is tonally this is tonal whiplash.
So
when we were just
total
talking about.
dissonance right now from this very serious thing that's happening.
I think our nerves are getting to us.
Well, I think
Yeah.
what's happening is that we have no good option, and so we're just stalling.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to think.
No,
I'm
I
also
have been.
trying to think.
Like, the thing is, even if we knock him unconscious, which I think we could do, we don't. How do we get the Lady of Change to him, or how do we get him to her? Like, maybe she could teleport somehow, but don't have like magical barriers and shit.
Yes.
Like, we're allowed in because we're trusted to an extent.
Mhm.
She's not going to be able to do that. In the time it would take for her to get in, like, on foot, I mean, who knows what could happen in that amount of time.
Yeah.
So, just going in and busting the door down at first would prevent him from fight. Like, if you knock him unconscious, that prevents him from being a thorn for a bit. But who knows how long he'll stay unconscious. And then, like,
what do we do? I think the problem is after we've done that, what the fuck happens?
I don't know.
If we talk to the Whitmore sisters, there's a 99.9% chance that nothing will come of it, except that
Well, I
they'll
mean,
get mad at
Zelenthus is
us.
already talking to.
If we talk to them. Oh wait, nope. The recorder device was Samael. Never mind.
Yep. Don't worry, Mal. I had the same thought like 20 minutes ago.
That
I was like,
gun
oh, wait, it
fired
was
a while
Samael.
ago.
What if Samael just pretends to be a recording device?
I mean, that's what he's been doing.
The thing is,
It's the only
our-
entertainment he gets these days.
we're level 19. This game has been going on for like what, 5 years. We're
Yes.
well past murder hobo. At this point, we try to solve everything with our words. That didn't work, and so now we're lost. We can't Steven Universe. We can't Steven Universe this shit. And now what the fuck do we do?
Can't Steven Universe our way out of this one, folks.
Sometimes
I mean,
someone's
obviously
just gonna be an
something-
asshole.
Obviously, some fights have to happen. You can't just talk
obviously,
to the
but,
Scion.
I
But this
mean,
is one I thought maybe this
this
could have
is
a
an
really
ex-
compelling diplomatic
Well,
resolution.
I will.
And
I will.
It's still possible,
Give
but I don't know what it
me-
is.
Give me an insight check
Insight.
On the
insight,
door, the blast
on
doors.
on this whole situation.
Okay.
Insight.
31.
Is this door my
31.
father?
So here's the thing. You are used to using. You want to use your words in this situation. The martial solutions are all undesirable. If you want to not have loss of life in this scenario, and you want to use your words to resolve it, there might still be a possibility. The fact of the matter is, your first or your approach with Calenthus was a bit confrontational, a bit adversarial. You pushed a few buttons that set him off.
A bit.
In our defense, we didn't know what was setting him off because the man acts like a fucking refrigerator.
That's true.
Please
You're absolutely
continue.
right.
Please continue with what you were saying.
Nonetheless, maybe there is something else that you can try asking him or talking to him about, and maybe it might get you somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I would like to follow that lead, but I'm pretty sure that if we open those doors, we're gonna get shot, and we can't talk to him through the door.
I think it.
And I'm pretty
we-
sure if I send him a
Door
message,
had
he'll
like a
ignore it.
little buzzer on it, like a little pad.
I'm sorry, I cut off Alex or someone. I
Sorry.
think.
Yeah, I think it was Alex.
No, it's okay. If there's a pad on it, it would be easier to buzz
Look,
it.
It would be easier than dimension dooring in.
I'm
I-
not even sure if I could. It might be protected from that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good point.
I think that as bad as that was, who was it? So who was it that said the thing about even the worst people have like a little bit of heart? Verna.
Verna said that.
As Verna said, I think there's still potential to have this conversation with Calenthus, but I'm not the one to do it.
The only
You know
thing
how
he seemed to respond to was talk
He
about your mother.
he softened. I was the one who noticed that, right?
Yes.
Okay. He softened the moment we mentioned Sissel's mother. I think. God damn it! We sent Zelenthus away.
It would probably have
She's
to
still
be
in the room.
Cecil.
Oh, okay.
You could, like she's talking to the Whitmer sisters right now. You could.
Are we in the same room as the Whitmore sisters?
Yeah, like you were
Oh,
pulled off to the
whoops.
side by. You were pulled
Ooh.
off to the side by Anna and
Oh
company.
yeah, we just been talking in the corner about
We've been
Oh,
talking
I
in the
thought- I
corner
thought we were
about
still-
murder.
I thought we were still in a hallway or
No,
something.
you returned because you wanted to talk to Anna.
I think.
I think this is a conversation that Sissel needs to have with him. And I shouldn't be interrupting with all of my bravado and idealized outcomes.
this. I'll just go.
I know it sucks, Thistle, but you're going to have to not tell him to just piss off immediately.
Mito gently pats Sissel on the back,
I
like
think
reassuringly.
I don't know if we want to ask Zelenthis what your mother was like, or if you want to hear from him yourself, but that
Maybe
could
you
be a way to
could.
start.
Maybe you could ask him to justify what it is he's doing, to describe her. I think just more information, what happened, what he seeks to overwrite specifically.
Also, if she would want this.
That too. She
Alright.
would want him to be like this.
Let me take some deep breaths and
Come on, Sissel, we know you got a charisma of 26.
Alright. I have to use the bathroom really, really quick.
Okay.
Hoo-ha. Ugh. This is a stressful
Falk,
situation.
I don't like your dragon puzzle. Your dragon and monstrosity puzzle.
Navigating the
Your diplomacy puzzle.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about something Falk was drawing on the board for a second, and I was
No.
like scrolling down, like where?
Falk doesn't
Where?
draw. Falk doesn't
Falk
draw unless I
Our
do something.
Draws it in my
D&D
psyche.
Our D&D party is a little baby on the ground, and Falk is the parent. And every time there's a puzzle, Falk hands us like a Rubik's cube of varying complexity, and a lot of the time it's like we figure it out pretty fast. But then when he hands us one that's like it's got like 10 different like rows and it's like really complicated, we just throw it on the ground and we're like, fuck this.
Most of the time, I hand you the one color Rubik's cube.
it's a 1x1 Rubik's cube.
Already
And
done.
we're like, we did it. But then you hand us one that's like really hard, and we're like, I don't know what to do with this.
Normal Rubik's cube.
Yeah, we're just like, what the fuck do I do with this? How is it not all the same color? Fuck this. we put her on the ground, and cross our arms, and put our lip out like a fucking male Al Ross sitting pose.
That's the Drake pose.
Yeah.
That's what I associate it with.
Wasn't it a picture of him sitting underneath the Christmas tree?
Yeah, it was. The pouting.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I think Lalafell should get that sitting pose.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Their little fat legs sticking out.
They already have a sitting pose like that, but they don't fold their arms.
Well, the folding the arm is what makes
I'm
it.
back.
You're right.
I'm back. What I miss?
Back.
Oh, we're just
Not much.
I was just making a metaphor about how our D&D party is an infant and Falk is the adult, giving us Rubik's cubes that are usually one by ones or 2x2 Rubik's cubes that are really easy to solve. And then when he gives us one that's like a bunch, we get really mad and just throw it on the ground and stop trying to solve it.
I was trying really hard to think of a better solution.
No,
I'm just bad at puzzles.
I mean, this is not really the puzzle in the same way that like this is not like a Zelda puzzle.
Yeah.
This is like a social complexity.
This is
thing.
like
Yeah.
a BioWare character that you're trying to recruit and make loyal, but you can't because it's hard.
But
Yeah,
he's
you're,
kind of a jerk.
Your speech skill isn't high enough to
This is Logain at the
win the
land
war.
meet.
Need speech 100.
It's literally just Fallout game where if your speech isn't high enough, you can only get the one shot, and then it's just like, oh, you wasn't high enough then, you can't do it.
It's the red checks in Disco Elysium, and you roll a 1, and it's just like you not only fail, you fail real
I rolled
hard.
to punch Kuno Lenthis.
Kuno Alenthis.
Kuno Alenthis.
Should you imagine if Calenthus did all the same stuff but talked like Kuno?
No.
I was tempted.
doesn't fucking care.
I was gonna do the voice, but then I thought better of it.
Calenthis calls you a slur.
Calenthis calls the Blue Heart slur.
Fucking do it, Blue Hearts! Set me free!
I can't deal with this.
Calenthus calls us a slur, but it still blurs out or bleeps out like what he says like in universe, and then Mayo's just like, how are you doing that with your mouth?
Can I just say real quick, PETA's hiding in my laundry basket. It's fucking
Oh.
adorable.
Can I take
Good.
Can I take this moment to realize that I'm pretty sure Verna would be the Kim Kitsuragi of the situation?
You're
Verna's
right.
Yeah.
absolutely the Kim Kitsuragi of the group.
If I were smarter IRL, yes, I could get her to be that.
Does that mean that Mido is Harry?
No.
No.
At first, yes.
Yeah, it was definitely sad wife
I
guy.
think the rest of us are all different parts of Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
you're the
different
different
skills.
skills. Yeah.
We're all the different cop
I'm
types.
persuasion.
Ellen is encyclopedia.
Goff is the commie cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
This
true.
is
Probably-
probably
I-
half light or some
No,
shit.
Goff is.
I'm just
Yeah.
joking. I don't actually know if that's true. It's probably not true.
Goff would be Apocalypse Cop.
Or the sorry cop.
Yeah. Goff's not really sorry.
Goff was
Yeah, I almost
sorry,
said
but
sorry,
now
cop,
he's done. Now he's done being sorry.
He's not. He doesn't say sorry a lot, but he feels sad a lot.
I am no longer sorry. I want power.
He does yell now. He does
Cop
yelling.
doesn't want power. He just wants people to shut the fuck up and do with the right thing.
Okay.
Are we doing something?
I think we're gonna try.
Okay.
I think we're gonna try in round 2, Calenthus, with
Oh
our
boy.
words.
Okay.
Sissel is electrochemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sissel's not really a drugs kind of guy, but I
Sissel's
feel
got
like
a little bit of
But-
half light.
Yeah,
but
I'd say
she's
half-light.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Half light.
Which one's Goff? Empathy?
Empathy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Empathy for sure.
Empathy.
Even though he's a very grouchy man.
Yeah, but he can read people.
Ellen would be.
Let's think about our
Sorry.
Elysian
Yeah.
personas later.
we just suddenly went really
As much as
deep
I'm
into
actually
this.
interested in this conversation, I am legitimately curious to
Oh,
see what
because being
people's.
responsible.
I'm trying to be respectful of our time in our RP.
Mm-hmm.
How does
Yeah.
Sissel want to do this?
How do you want to do this?
Sissel just kind of again just kind of scrubs her face with her hands. It just is looking very unhappy about just this entire situation. And just goes, Alright. Alright. Let's no promises. Just gonna walk off in the direction of Calenthus's lab.
As she does that, really quick, is Zelenthus in conversation right now?
She is.
Goff is gonna walk over to her if she's not that far away.
Yeah.
And put a hand on her shoulder
Okay.
to get her attention.
Yeah, I mean she's talking with the Whitmore sisters right now. But
Goff is
she
gonna.
could probably see you approach and
Okay.
step away for a moment.
He's just gonna lean down and quietly say, I think Sissel's going to try to talk to him again. If you want to be there with her, just letting you know.
She does that kind of that face where you're grimacing and you're inhaling through your teeth
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Just letting you know. And he just starts to walk after Sissel.
Yeah. I think she returns to the Whitmore sisters really quickly and you see her hastily trying to end the conversation, and then as you're all leaving she kind of hurries on after you.
Yep. Whew.
But we didn't end that conversation in a really weird way for her.
Okay.
All right.
So you head back down the halls to the sealed entrance to Calanthus's laboratory. What do you do?
Right. It's probably better if I had this conversation mostly alone, just because I don't think that he is going to start talking about personal shit with everybody else around.
Understandable. Well, Zelenthus, I suppose you probably should be privy to this conversation.
No. I think this is something a bit more private.
Understandable. All right.
Besides, I already know how the story ends.
Well, it's the first time
Fine.
we've seen this, so
Fine. But we'll be right out here.
we'll be out here for you, Sissel.
Cecil grimaces, gives a double thumbs up, and her face just looks like a rictus of whatever the opposite of enthusiasm is.
Lethargy.
No. She's just
The-
cringing
Dread.
she's cringing super hard.
Dread.
Yeah.
It's
Fear.
like that one image of Deku with like the thumbs up, but like the or the burger pants face.
Definitely a burger pants face.
It's definitely a burger pants
face.
situation.
Hmm.
She's burger pantsing super hard right now. And she's gonna go to his lab and press the button on the thing.
Does it go ding dong?
No, it's like an intercom.
That's really
Aw.
funny.
It's like an intercom. So like you press the button and it goes, and after a moment, you just hear, what?
Takes a breath to collect thoughts. Goes, hey, I know the last bit of that conversation not done so well for either of us, but Sorry, Fenrir is making haunted noises in the background and it's throwing off my groove. It's just me this time. And, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not particularly excited about sending one of the few family members I have to his death, and I'm not excited about that. I don't know if you realize this or if you really care, but I didn't really, for a little bit anyway, I didn't know that I had family. I do have family now, but not in the way that you are, for whatever that counts. But, I guess I came to really ask, what all of this means to you. You seem like the kind of guy who doesn't care about much, but you gotta care about something. So, what's all this worth?
There's no vocal response through the intercom, but you do. I mean, the channel is still open. You hear like ambient noise in the background coming through it, and then after a moment, it clicks off, and you hear a hiss sound as the blast door rises up.
So takes another deep breath, gets some sweet, sweet oxygen in those lungs, and steps inside.
Okay. As you step inside, the door closes behind you. You look across the laboratory. Calanthus is not standing at his terminal. You kind of like cast a glance across the room, and you see him right where you left him. He is at the window that overlooks the jungle, but he is sitting on the ground with his back to it. He just has like his knees curled up and he's just sort of like has his head in his hands.
I go over and I just kind of sit down on the floor in front of him, crisscross applesauce.
Mm-hmm. You just he doesn't look at you. And he just says, "Say what you came here for."
It's not so much of a statement as it is a question, but who exactly was my mother, and what does she mean to you?
Your mother, she was. And you see, just sort of like not making eye contact with you, of course. He's just like staring at the ground, and he says, "She was no one really, just a traveling sorceress. But she was everything to me."
What was she like?
Insufferably insistent.
Sounds familiar.
She was. You have to understand, this was. 30 years ago was a different time. I know it seems like such a short time, but this was before your academy. Magic was only known to a few, those who had the talent for it. Your mother, she was an explorer, a traveler, went from place to place, helping people, putting down monsters that escaped through from the far realms. It's how I met her, in fact.
Huh. She was a little bit like us, kind of. She nice?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't really understand people. But she was able to make me smile.
She was
I do
able to
remember
make you
that.
smile. She must have been 30-something. Sissel says that with a smile on her face.
I'm sorry, I don't really know how to talk about this.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about things like this, is that it's... or... Oh, I don't know if you realize this, but talking to you is really weird for me. I imagine this must be news to you. But, you know, I'm doing my best here.
No, I understand. It is difficult for me too.
Oh. But what we're doing right now, I think, is more progress than we've basically made since I met you. So that's something. That's not for nothing.
I think he just sort of nods, but he doesn't really say anything.
it's kind of weird, hearing about her from people secondhand. I didn't actually know that she existed until very recently, so please understand that this is, a little strange. What happened to her?
You want the truth then?
That's all I'm asking for.
The years went by. We grew close. We settled in a small cabin away from the crossroads. I still had my duty to Orda Newell, to our grand cause, saving this plane, this world. But I find myself spending less and less time there. My sister made excuses for me, covered for me, so that none of the others ever knew. But then she had you, and I was terrified. I ran.
You were
Kept going.
terrified
Because I did not think I could be a good father, and it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. By the time I got up the courage to return, you have to understand, back then, magic was misunderstood. Before your academy, before the understanding took hold, there were men from the crossroads who got it into their heads that she was a witch. By the time I returned, it was all cinders. But you were alive somehow, wreathed in fire. I was filled with rage. I don't remember myself in those days, but those men, their parents, their children, their families, they didn't spare any one of them.
So just kind of sits there quietly listening.
You have to understand, Sissel, I love this world because it brought her to me, and I hate this world because it took her away from me.
If he brought her back, way that the way that meant that she plans to do you think she'd want that?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Oh, like shit. Okay.
24. I don't know what she'd want. But I know that if she was here still, she would make everything make sense.
Well, I mean, I know it's not worth much in the grand scheme of things, probably, but I'm still here, and there's still a lot ahead of us. There's a lot of potential in the days ahead. Even after we solve the little moon problem, and we will solve it. There's so much left to do. There's so much left to rebuild, and the world is our. There's a phrase, you know, the world's your oyster. Kind of like that. They've lost a lot, and we're probably going to continue to lose a lot, but there's it's not an empty future.
I am sorry, but I cannot turn away from my course. And I know that sets me against you, against your friends. But this plan has been strategized and formulated for so long. It was an imperative before I met her, and now it means something much more to me.
So, what exactly is the ideal situation here? Just wipe the slate clean and
There won't be a wiping of the slate, just a reconfiguration of the tapestry.
also.
Any moment of suffering, of pain, removed. The rest stays.
Wouldn't that just make everything kind of pointless, though? And
I don't know.
she uses prestidigitation to illustrate this. She holds in her hand a black light and a white light in one, like a black light in one hand and a white light in the other, and she goes, "The world is made up of contrasts." She holds the black light and the white light together, and she changes the white to black, and only have good things. You won't be able to see them for what it is because it all looks the same.
How do we know that? How do we know that that's not some truth we've convinced ourselves of?
How do we know
We
it's
are
not?
owed better, Sissel. This misery that we've endured, every one of us has suffered in some way in a world that has been shaped by the gods and their choice to seal the chained god here.
How are you so sure that brain fizzled out mid-sentence? Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
How are you so sure that
Or are you so sure
Even
that's
even if they had chosen to seal the chained god somewhere else, I mean, there'd still be suffering in the world, but there would also still be joy.
They had chosen anywhere else. The abyss, the nine hells. It wouldn't have been our problem. But they made it our problem. So I cannot turn away.
This is the only way you can do it.
Consider it a sunk cost.
Not really. It's not quite on the scale of what you're trying to do, but I've got a bit of a conundrum. Seemingly unsolvable conundrum myself. And, well, I could easily solve it. It's not really to help massive amounts of people. It's not on some grand scale. It's just to help one person who I probably really shouldn't even be helping, but I want to, so
Tell me
I'm
about
doing
it.
it. And I
Tell me
could.
about it.
She just kind of pinches the bridge of her nose. It's. Oh, you're going to really. Don't laugh at me if I tell you this, please. I have caught shit from everyone I know about this. I know it's a bad idea, blah blah blah. There's this devil, and
Sorry.
I thought you were going with Heraith. That's fine.
oh, sorry.
Oh, I knew it was about the
I
doll.
knew it was also going. I knew it was gonna be about the doll, but that's fine. Don't worry
There's
about it.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think-
Whiplash for me. Holy shit.
No one's given Sissel shit about saving her aid.
no.
You're right. That should have been my first clue.
Yeah.
Listen, there's this.
There's
there-
this
There's this
devil.
devil who is stuck in the doll for reasons that are complicated and mostly had to do with just devil shit. But listen, he hasn't been a bad guy to me. And there's an easy way to get him out, but it requires me screwing over someone else really, really bad. And I could do it. I could, but I don't want to. And, as long as I'm still kicking, there's another solution. I just haven't found it yet.
Were
And
it
it's kind
me,
of like that.
were it me, I would have taken the most optimal solution. But,
Oh,
We
I
know
know.
that. We
Yeah,
know that,
Mr.
Calendis.
Sure.
but your mother would have tried to see more than that.
That's kind of what I'm trying to do. There's a good few unsolvable puzzles I'm dealing with, but really, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time and finding the right loophole and not screwing over everyone else around me doing it. And I mean, we've kind of done that before. Nothing's really impossible. At least not in the world that we live in.
You have to understand, I do not wish to hurt anyone.
I imagine you don't, but what you're doing has... It's a lot. A lot that it's got.
Even if I were to renounce myself now, I could not stop Medici.
I know. We didn't really think that Medici was dead. We figured we had something to do, and I know that Medici's lost a lot too, and I know that things that have happened to his loved ones are beyond imagining. There's another solution out there.
Then I leave it to you and your friends to find it. But as for me, I cannot stray from my course. So,
You think you could hold off at least?
make another persuasion check.
Persuasion. Ooh.
Wow.
I'm not looking. How bad was it?
30.
Oh,
It was
it was
good.
That's good.
It was good.
That sounded like a.
Oh, I did
Ugh.
not. I gotta think this one out now. How
Ooh,
do you...
you gotta think now. Terrible.
You've given your
PETA,
DM pause.
PETA has emerged from the well. By the
Oh, you
way,
got pause? Like yeah?
Nah,
You've
Peter
given the
gonna-
DM
no,
pause.
you've got a your DM is now
a cat boy.
has to figure out a way to respect that very good roll.
Your
Not
DM
to
is
say,
now a cat
"Meow,
boy.
I'm set in my ways. I'm an old dragon."
You guys are doing all this
Sad.
RP and all of
Wait,
these rolls
stop,
for nothing.
stop. This is a very important moment. Let me
I'm
just
Sorry,
sorry.
get through
sorry.
this. What was the question again that we rolled that for? Because I have.
Could you hold
think
off
you,
a
Could
bit?
think
you
you could,
hold off?
yeah, I think you could hold off.
It's mostly out of my hands now.
So what you're saying, the primary problem is Medici.
I wouldn't look at him as a problem.
So him out.
Kill him for real.
Not the problem, but the person behind the wheel.
I met Medici 800 years ago, after he had lost his son. I was the one who gave him the idea, showed him where to find the knowledge. For the longest time, I left him to his own devices, his own methods of planning, and then when it appeared as if he had been slain by Anna Stonebrook, I thought that was the end of it. Your friends came to Ordanul, and we enacted Plan B. The Avatar Stones. Then when I discovered he was alive again, things changed.
So you were planning on using our power over the Avatar Stones?
No, never that. Plan B was simply to ensure this world's safety, to make sure that the Elder Gods were sealed and their threat would no longer harm us. And it is still necessary. Even with Plan A, Medici's plan cannot take effect unless all of the gods, the Elder Gods, are sealed. If even one of them remains, then they will interfere. They may claim the Rizadun instead.
So you plan on just sealing the gods, all of them. What? How are you going to reconfigure the world?
The original plan was to utilize a depth of precursor knowledge into arcane magic combined with technology to elevate Medici to a deific status, and then complete it by allowing him to merge with the Rizadun itself, to take the wheel, as you said.
Seems like it could go very, very wrong very, very fast.
If it were his plan alone, I would say you would be right, but I have been working the calculations on this for a very long time.
Even
Plan
expert
would be
calculations,
flawless.
especially when you're only one person. Be things you missed.
I have had so many years to check and double check all of my work. And if there's one thing I am, it's thorough. If you are looking to find out where Medici is, then you are looking in the wrong place. I do not know.
No, I think I was just trying to understand you a little better. Kind of taking things one step at a time.
That legion out there will not leave unless I am in their hands, and I will not do that. But perhaps I can do something else.
What did you have in mind?
Perhaps you say I confessed, and then I escaped. And then it is no longer Ordinul's problem.
The Lady of Change mentioned something about... trying to remember what exactly she said. She mentioned like if Calentus slipped through their fingers, it would be a problem. I think. Am I correct?
She's trying to avoid Calanthus slipping through her fingers. She has not said what she'd do if he does.
Okay. The Lady of Change made that sound like your escape would be a problem, but I'm not exactly keen on watching you get torn apart, and I'm not really keen on fighting them either, because regardless of what you say, they're actually pretty cool. And not as savage as you seem to think they are.
If that's the case, do you truly think that she would take her ire out on this entire city if I were to leave? Would she fight you?
I don't. But... and she just kind of grimaces and just goes, if we're going to do this, and believe me, I'm not excited about any of the options, but I think you and I can both agree on avoiding bloodshed being an ideal here. Yes?
Of course.
Okay. It's going to need to be a little convincing. I cannot lie to her face.
Well then. Perhaps I will make your decision for you. And you see him just disappear
Oh.
as he teleports away.
Okay.
Well, by technicality, you're no longer lying.
By technicality, Sissel's just kind of gonna lie flat on the ground for a solid few minutes and just kind of make this low.
Which none of us can hear because the blast door is shut.
I mean, you could turn the intercom on and you just hear groaning.
You hear the Tina Belcher noise over the loudspeaker.
I think your dad just hit you with the Irish goodbye.
The Irish goodbye!
Ooh!
Whoa!
God.
That staggered me. It was like in, in Sekiro when you have to stagger the
Yeah.
enemies. My
Yeah.
bar just filled.
After a while, she just kind of gets up,
Damn,
rubs her face
Patty.
again.
Patty thing.
The Italian farewell.
Oh my God.
Farewell.
Just gonna.
Fucked up.
No, if it was Italian, he would give her like the
The-
double cheek kiss before vanishing.
Sleeps
That's
with the
true.
fishes.
The
kiss.
draconian departure.
The draconian
Draconian
departure. Wow, that's a thing now.
Holy shit.
When you just you blatantly just teleport right in front of someone in eyesight.
Yeah.
See ya. He just
Bye.
basically did the peace out and disappeared.
Yeah, he really did. Just yeah.
Cecil, after like a couple of minutes of just groaning on the floor like a whiny baby, gets up, slaps the blaster open. He teleports it away.
Huh?
We did
Like-
have a conversation though,
Okay,
but I think
because
it's
that was
safe
a
to
little that was a little long for just a teleport away.
Well, I mean, we had the conversation first.
Hmm. A good one?
I don't think the Lady of Change is going to be happy about this.
No, but I think it's
He
safe to say
didn't
that
have
he's no
any
longer in
intention-
Ordenul, and that's
He
what she
didn't-
came to Ordenul for.
He didn't seem to have any intention on attacking these people without any cause. We have to
She
just hope that
didn't.
that's still the case.
Well,
Sissel, did you know that he was going to teleport away?
Not until right before he did it.
And you had no chance to stop him.
Well,
We'll say that he subtle spell teleported.
okay.
Okay.
So there's not even like a counter spell that you could have done.
Yeah, I didn't see him cast.
You
Goff looks at the
sorcerers
floor
are
and he just
tricky.
kind of puts his hands up like, that's out of
well,
our hands.
Yep.
should we give this news to her in person?
I think so. We have to use all of our charms to make sure she doesn't get very mad.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
I
Let's go.
suppose it makes sense that
Are
he
you-
would do this.
He didn't do anything to you, did he?
No.
Not physically.
We
That's
just
not in character. I'm sorry.
we just sat down and talked, and I think I get what he's doing a little bit more. By the way, Medici is still very much a problem right now, but
Of
Yeah.
You
course
didn't
he
have
is.
to, you didn't have to
Actually,
tell us
by the
that.
way, we're sure he teleported, right? And Ellen uses her action real quick to make sure nothing's invisible in this room.
Oh yeah, there's nothing invisible.
Okay, he
He
did
is-
teleport.
He is gone.
Well, unless he went to a different world entirely, it's possible that Lady of
He-
Change may still be able to track his movements.
He does have. He did plane shift once in front of us.
well, at that point it's kind of out of our hands, and we have
We don't necessarily want to help her find him.
bigger fish to fry right now.
We do.
Just at
Well,
the very least gives us some time.
And at the very least, maybe we can even ask her to help. I mean, not with him, but with us, like the moon thing. I'm sorry, I'm kind of
He's
frazzled right
only
now.
he's only one half of the equation.
okay?
The other half is Medici.
Yep, she wanted him to get to Medici, but did he give you any information we might be able to tell the Lady of Change?
Well, aside from Medici being the one with the reins, he doesn't know where he is, or at least according to him. But
It would make sense if they knew where the other was, they could.
It would be a liability.
It would be a liability.
What? No more details about what he plans to do, at least in the terms of mechanics. He plans on having all the gods at one place, sealing them, and turning Medici into a god using precursor tech, more or less. Which I said had a lot of ways to go wrong, and he said, well, I've checked all my calculations.
I feel like calculations are not the thing that would go wrong here.
Yeah, I trust Medici about as far as I can throw him. I do believe that he wants to bring his son back, but I don't think he'd stop at that. I mean, obviously not. They're planning on basically rewriting the world to...
Yeah, it's a lot. Alright, alright.
Let's go break the news.
Let's go break the news in person.
And Zelanthes is there, and she just says, I'll go speak to the sisters.
Thank you.
Let us know as soon as possible what the outcome is, so that hopefully we can stand down.
Yep.
Yep. I think we have a link on our earrings to Anna, so
You do.
Yeah.
we'll be able to.
All the old folk know the frequency of your earrings. So like
Okay.
Anna Jack Walden,
Medici.
your father. No, not Medici.
He
Medici doesn't
does.
have
He
a.
has. Oh no! Wait, no.
He
We
doesn't
have
have
new
the. He has
earrings.
the old ring.
He
Yeah,
has
the
the
old
old
ones,
earring.
not the new ones.
Yeah, that's like specifically why we had to get the new
Yeah.
one.
That's right.
All of your allies who have an earring can tune into your frequency and talk to you if need be.
I think Liza should get an earring.
Yeah, she can absolutely have an earring.
We
Good.
should. I think Walden should give her an earring as a present
Yeah, for sure.
because
Or
it's cute.
Or one of you can.
Aw.
Okay.
Like off.
So you return to the war camp on the outskirts of Ordenol, where the Lady of Change is. She's, I think, just sort of like doing some last minute preparations, like kind of going through her troops, her front line, and like bone crafting some battle armor on them.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she sees you being like the crowd of monsters parts to allow you through, and she says, "Oh, you have returned. Tell me, what news?"
Well, I started having a conversation with him in the hopes that he would come along quietly, and then he teleported away, and it's safe to say that he's no longer in Northern. I'm not excited about bringing you this news. Trust me.
We did, however, Cecil did, however, get at least some information that can hopefully be of use.
Oh, what would that be? You can tell. Make an insight check.
Okay.
This is like having to tell your mom you broke her favorite vase.
30.
Yeah. When you tell her that Galanthus escaped, she's very visibly unhappy about that. But it doesn't seem to be something that she considered outside the realm of possibility. She knew that he was slippery. But she's willing. It seems like she's willing to accept like anything at this point. So if you've got information, she's interested in it.
What the evidence you gathered seems to be accurate. Calanthus confirmed he met Medici 800 years ago.
Well, did Cecil tell you all this stuff? Or...
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
yeah.
basically given the rundown.
Okay, cool.
I thought Cecil said that. Yeah. And the plan does seem to be to use precursor technology to ascend, I suppose, Medici into a state of godhood, but the existence of any elder gods stops the plan from being able to be put into effect. Because of the fear that they'll simply take Tharizdun's body for themselves,
Or that they'll intervene otherwise.
or that they'll otherwise intervene. He also has told Sissel that he's no longer really in charge, and that it seems to be mainly Medici behind at the reins of the whole whatever this is operation.
I do not know if I would put my faith in that. But it sounds like the hunt continues.
That it does.
I know that it's bit much to ask of me, probably, but do you have any interest in helping stop the pale moon? The interest of goodwill?
He will not act before that happens. We can be certain of that.
If the pale moon succeeds in its destructive path, there will be no world left for my children to survive in. It is in our interest to work together.
Perfect. I don't know if there is any insight that you would have to... Well, what I'm saying is in the interest of goodwill, maybe you would want to work with the rest of us, seeing as we're on the same side.
Also, might not be a terrible proof of concept for a world in which your children can live alongside the
Make a
other.
persuasion check, because that's actually a really great argument, I
Yeah.
think, and it deserves a roll.
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
give you advantage because the two
I
of you
already
are
have advantage. I'm the best.
Foresight. 5 sight.
Oh, that is a natural 20. Ooh. How
So
big is
when you're
that
saying-
number?
When you're saying work together, are you suggesting she works with you specifically, the Blue Hearts, or she works with the Draconians and Dragonborn?
The latter.
It's a little, for me, it's a little column A, little column B, because we can
Yeah.
definitely help like liaison between them because we've worked with her more. But it's definitely like, you know, we have to prove to maybe one group of people to start off with that, you know, these, and especially the I guess Dragonborn. Wait, have they dealt with the far realms and monstrosities as much as the dragons have?
Well, they certainly have as well, but the
Okay.
Dragonborn are like
Much
regular
older, yeah.
No,
Or
the
no,
Draconians.
the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Dragonborn are regular humanoids. They have had multiple generations who have
Yeah.
been like over the last 5,000 years. Like,
Yeah, but my point is like, you know, if you can convince these people that you might be able to live together, you can convince anybody in this realm because they're going to be your hardest. Also, I just want to let you know that when I roll a natural 20 persuasion, it's a 40.
Oh my god.
holy shit! If only you had the Goth bonus.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I elected to basically
It would
stop
be like
talking.
48, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be
With the Goth
48.
bonus.
Goff has been a little angry today.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
I tried having the golf conversation and it only made things worse, so I'm just kind of hanging back.
Lady of Change says, I would work with you without question. The Draconians here, on the other hand, might take a bit more work to get us working on the same side. That being said, I will pledge whatever aid I can give you.
And we are ready and willing to help. We know it's not going to be a short road or an easy roads, but we believe in you and a vision that we can see of this world where we can all live together. So Let's
As
get
do-
started.
As do I. As an act of goodwill, I will begin withdrawing my forces.
Thank you.
And if you need to see me again in person, you may find me in the catacombs underneath where the cathedral once stood, the monastery.
Alright, that's
Mhm.
good to know.
Lady of Change probably has quite literally the largest army by sheer power of forces in this entire campaign.
I'm so glad we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have to fight her. I was trying
Same.
really
Me
hard.
too.
I
I
don't
got-
want to
Oh my
I got
god, me
it.
too.
I got it, guys.
Uh-huh.
We take all the aberrations.
And put them on the moon.
We yes.
I mean, they can fly and they don't need to breathe in space,
we
so
we shoot them into the moon and they just override it and just
They eat the
consume it.
moon.
They
and that's a
overrun
good
the moon.
that's a good way, I think, of getting a legion of undead aberrations.
Uh-oh.
But what if the
No,
do
they
we
don't
know if
have to
the
eat it.
moon is the moon made of cheese, or is it just a
No,
normal
it's
rock
just made
moon?
of corpses.
Oh, so it's not even like a normal
Oh,
rock moon.
so it's like the boss from Puppet's Bunker.
The moon is made of grave wax.
It's like goopy.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean, it's not literally made of
no,
corpses, but it is a big
no.
undead aura moon, and most things that land on it, if they die there, are going to rise up as undead.
Good to know.
Good to know. None of you die there.
Don't nobody die there.
That's actually true of, like, I mean, you would. Well, we'll wait until the actual planning phase begins. We'll get into that later.
Oh, boy.
After SableCon.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Back to Ordinal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
For...
Thank
course.
you.
And as you're as you're making your way back to Ordinal, you see like the front lines of the Lady of Change's army withdrawing. They're returning. What you see actually is like a lot of them are like loading up into the giant purple worms, which are then burrowing underneath the
Oh,
ground.
that
Oh,
rules!
They're
that
literally,
is
It's
so
just
cool.
Worm
they're
bus!
literally
Mill
like
house.
they're literally like what are
worm
those fucking things that the
buses.
Zerg have in StarCraft that basically are like
Oh,
big worms?
the Nidus something.
Yes, the
Nidus.
Nidus tunnels.
Nidus
They-
Network.
I'm just thinking of the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro, except it's a
Mhm.
giant worm.
It's
well, the
it's
giant
the
the worm's
Alaskan
huge.
the Alaskan bullworm.
Yeah.
Big yellow and pink.
Amazing.
That's how they got here, because all the purple worms just burst through the ground and then just unloaded all of these
Horrors.
monsters.
That rules.
Oh, poor Patty.
Oh.
That's so cool, though.
What did Patty say? I'm
Wistfully touches Heroes of the Storm.
I know.
Yeah, that was a
You
good
miss
game.
Agara, don't you?
All right, so you
It's-
return to Ordinal. You return to the war room. You see that people are still observing like the holographic outputs, but they see like obviously the forces are starting to retreat. And Anna says, "Well, I don't know what you did. Jack's kind of sad he didn't get to blow anything up, though."
He's
He'll
always
have
mad
more-
about that.
He'll have plenty
There's
more opportunities
Moonfall.
soon.
Save
there
that
is
ammo for Moonfall, Jack.
The Whitmore sisters approach. Cassia Whitmore, I think she was the silver-haired one. She says, "Salanthus has brought us up to speed about what happened with the doctor. Is it true?"
By his own words.
I knew that we knew how much our people's loss weighed on him, but we didn't think he would go this far.
Well,
His disappearance, for lack of a better term, is going to be hard without his technological guidance. I fear for the moonfall.
I
Well,
can pretty much guarantee it would be harder with a legion of aberrations breathing down your back. They're willing to work with us regarding the moonfall, by the way.
There's no easy choice.
I think all the sisters trade surprised looks at one another, and say, and Cassie once more says, "That is a surprise. They can be trusted."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Lady of Change is actually pretty amenable to parlay. She's helped us in the past.
Well,
he wants to protect this world, just like us.
well, if we have so little time between now and the day the pale moon arrives, there is no time for doubt at this point. So we'll worry about that if it comes to pass.
Hmm.
Zelantha says, "Don't worry about Cal. I think with... Oh, let me put it this way. He's not the only one with his scientific expertise."
Does it run in the family, I guess?
Well, I mean, I was the administrator of the Throne of the World facility until things went bad.
That sounds...
Speaking of which, we should get the teleportation network back up and running. That might be needed.
Oh, that could be good to have.
Yeah.
We used to use the throne as sort of a nexus, a slingshot to get from facilities very quickly, from
That would be
here to...
nice.
There were beholders in that room, if I remember.
Oh,
Oh,
Wait,
they're
there's a
the
they're
magic
tieflings
house.
cleared them out. It's fine.
Okay.
And
They-
and I
We use a magic house.
Verna said something very funny.
that's really good, actually.
Oh, you
I mean,
guys
we
use the
do-
throne of the world. We just use our magic house.
What is the throne of the world if not another magic house?
It's just a magic
True.
house that's high up.
But moving people quickly between Arcadia, here, the Highlands, anywhere we need, I think.
That would be very good to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shouldn't take me more than a day. That's one day of 10. Do what you need to do.
Right. I think
Sleep.
sleep.
Tired.
Do we plan here? I looked at the other blue hearts. Do we want to plan here? Or should we plan back home?
I can cast. Do we have a way? Wait, we have the.
We have the wormhole.
return-
We have the
worm-
escape hole. Escape.
No worm.
There's also
No?
there's also a teleportation circle, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You have a
We-
teleportation pad here in Ordinal. You can easily get back to your...
We might as well just go home.
Let's go the fuck home.
Let's go home. I want to sleep so bad.
I'm so tired.
Today has been
I
so
need-
fucking long.
Wait. Quick question. What time is it?
I mean, we've been
Uh,
literally
to watch.
climbing the throne of the world for like hours.
So
I know,
you
But if Falk
reached-
said it's 11 a.m., I'm gonna freak
No.
out.
You're going to be very
Oh.
unhappy because
Oh.
you reached the throne of the world probably... Actually, no, let me think about this. So you left for the throne of the world from Dapper Snapdragon probably were like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was a full 12-hour flight there. So you got there
Mhm.
probably around 2 p.m. And then it was probably like 3.5 to 4 hours of you traversing that whole complex. So right now it's probably closer to 6 or 7 o'clock.
My God.
Yeah, but we've been traveling to and from and talking to all these people. I feel like it would have lasted at least a few hours. Please let it be like 10 or 11
The point
p.m.
is, it's not literally before noon, and
Yeah.
that is a success.
That's
Mhm.
true.
We
I'm gonna say
actually
at this
spent all
point,
day
I'm
doing
gonna say at this
something.
point, the stuff that you've been doing in Order Newell probably has taken you maybe about 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's probably closer to 9 p.m.
Okay.
We did it.
Hey.
We did it.
We
Yeah,
did
we've
it.
You had a
been up
full
since 2,
adventuring
so
day. We fucking did it.
We did it. Okay, I want to
I'm
go
so
home,
proud of
go to
us.
bed,
Let's
I
go
see
home.
my wife.
I
I want to
finally
see my
managed a
wife.
campaign where we did a full adventuring day as Mike Merles intended.
as God intended.
All right. Oh, did like the,
Myra's like, I want to see my wife right
so
now.
when the Celestial's time was up, did it go change the world?
No, it went
I know
bum
it.
bum bum bum.
It just makes us
Oh,
sound like a
Windows
Zoji
XP.
Rushi.
It just made the Windows 98 log off sound and then disappeared.
That was Windows XP.
Oh, NXP. Sorry, my bad.
Did it ever end up refunding any of the money because it got to do something cool?
How much money did you pay? Do you remember?
I think it was like, wasn't it like 5K?
It was 5,000.
It was 1,000 per hour, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
5,000. Let's say that it had fun hacking the AI. Let's say that it gave you like a 20% discount, so you paid 4,000 instead.
That's nice.
Hey.
All right, sweet. I will add 1,000 back to the inventory document, which I just now realizing I didn't have open. Oops. Nice.
All right.
Okay.
So, with the diplomatic crisis resolved in Order Newell, and the time ticking until moonfall, you return to the Dapper Snapdragon for some well-deserved rest and reconvening with your family and friends and loved ones.
How long does it take for an airship to get from Throne of the World to
12
Arcadia?
hours. So they're
Okay.
not going to be back until probably 6 or 7 in the morning.
Okay, I think Ellen will want to
Be awake for that.
wake up for that.
Yeah, you can get a full long rest and then be
Okay.
up for that.
Mhm.
But as you are all kind of heading to get well-deserved rest, that's where we're going to conclude tonight's session. And
Yeah.
we will pick this up again after SableCon.
That was so
Or-
stressful.
It
I
was.
think
All right, everyone.
That 30 persuasion.
Oh my god, that,
That
30
changed
persuasion.
things.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
everyone.
good.
I've been waiting 3 hours for this. Please look at animal pics.
Animal.
Patty, we're going to play a game at SableCon, but it's not going to be our main
It's a
game.
very good Peeba.
I'm going to do a
Probably
one-shot.
because there are people who might want to join in.
Yes, and also if there's any scenario where we need to have a combat, I don't want to do any combats for this campaign
Yeah.
because I
Outside of
don't have a
Roll20.
hex map. I don't have tokens or minis. My
I
idea
don't
was
have.
if we did a combat for our one shot, I was gonna like grab little snacks and use those, and then when we killed monsters, you could eat them.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Eat the monster.
Do we are we gonna? I'm sorry, I tuned out part of it because I was typing something on. Are
Yeah.
we gonna need to make our own characters?
At SableCon, I'm gonna bring some character sheets. People can just like whip up something real quick. I had this like
Oh, okay. So all right, we'll just do like a fast like.
yeah,
basic-
I had this like kind of goofy idea. You know that website that is like, what's my fucking D&D character?
Yeah, it doesn't like just randomly
Mhm.
generate like.
It randomly generates like a character concept for you. I thought we could do something silly like that and just
That'd
like
be fun.
do a
Okay.
bunch of randoms.
Oh man, are they watching Shrek in Observers Chat?
Are they
think they are.
fucking watching
I kind of
Shrek?
want to go watch Shrek.
I want to watch
I
Shrek.
thought they were watching Katana.
Have
Are they watching
fun.
Shrek?
I think they're literally watching Shrek. I'm gonna
They're
go.
literally watching Shrek.
They are watching Shrek.
Have
That's really
fun.
funny.
Sweet
I'm
dwarf
gonna stop
druid from the
recording.
smallest mountain in the world.